Has anybody seen the Bald Man? I was told the Bald Man would be here. No? No? Hmm. You know, we've come to expect a new Path of Exile League every 3 months. And nobody panics. We know to expect it. We wait for it. You delay the league by 1 little month. Everybody loses their minds. Hi. And there's a random cosplay, which was supposed to be for Mayhem League, but I tried to tie it in for this announcement anyway, because it was it came really late. And so that was my little attempt at a monologue for that, and hey, just a small bonus cosplay. The makeup did myself. It's kind of weird. I don't think it worked out too well, but But yeah, this is the whole thing. Why so serious? Seriously. Saw all those fucking Monka W's and shit. Where were the Pog champs? Oh yeah. Sad champ. Dear Diary. Yesterday, PogChamp was not very PogChamp. Alright, well, fuck. Thanks for the subs and stuff. Who we got? Sardag, Scrapster with the bits. Bloody Addicted, Menegis, Death Shut-ins, Hash Hopper. Woodhouse Pajamas, Scrapster with 750 bits. Dingy Dong with the 11 months, FRS Gaming, J-Rod, Last Egg, Deadwall, Jasmine, Stream Silver, Lard with 500 bits. No wonder you didn't want to wear this cosplay at Christmas. No. Like I said, it was very much a Mayhem League cosplay, you know, kind of fucking madness and shit. And since it showed up very late, I wasn't going to do it for New Year's or Christmas, because it didn't make much sense. Didn't make much sense now either, but I figured I could give you a bonus cosplay for just, you know, we're losing our minds not playing PoE, and this is what becomes of you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Magnifying lens, Jerami, Sithid, Wishna, Oxlayer, Autistic Tau, Dursus, Venom, Facet, Arrogant One, 57 months. Crack, Rep 5, Tristan McAlpine, Sultan Lol, T-Vad, Griffin 2K. Thank you. I can't really move my mouth much, is the main problem. Like, what I've been doing is essentially as much as I can, because like a proper big smile or some shit is gonna unglue the scars. You can kind of see. Talon ST, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. Mike's always been sitting like this in my face. Whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. There you go. I gave it a shot. The white contrast. Oh. I just think you can see the mic a lot more because my face is uber white. The main difference, I think, from what I could see looking at my face when I did the whole makeup, is that the eyes on Heath Ledger's Joker are completely black. Like, there's no, pink outline or anything. They've got the black all the way everywhere, and I couldn't really risk doing that with the paint I was using that said, don't put in the eye area. So, um, now you know when you know. Thanks for the sub. Isayara, not an hour of the 500 bits, says it's well done. Thank you. Drizzy with the 9 months. Dan Slayers with the 5 gifted. And Caruso, thanks for the 6 months. Eyeliner? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna fucking eyeliner myself. I hope you have deliveries signed for today. I mean, I was legit thinking I'm only gonna get a couple hours sleep because fucking just rough and hype and whatever. And I will probably need to grab a coffee or something at some point and like a proper one, step outside for it. But then I'm like, I probably shouldn't. Doridus, thanks for the 7 months. Dynamite for the 21. Drops will be on any channel watching within the PoE category. Gidley, thanks for 38 months. It's hot in this as well. I turned on the AC, but it's fucked. I'll give you one last look, then I'll sit down and close the door as well. How'd you like the opening monologue though? Did it kind of make sense? Demon, thanks for the 5 months. Not at all, Sharper. This was my Mayhem cosplay. But I tried to just tie it in to waiting for an expansion for 4 months. Halsbot, thanks for the prime. Too close, thanks for the 1 year. Silverwing for the 53. God, it's hard to move the mouth without ripping the scars off. Evolving, thanks for 26. So just one more look at it. Norseman, thanks for the reset. It's actually yellow hairspray. I couldn't find green hairspray anywhere. It's yellow, but the Joker's is very yellowy green anyway. And you just put a bit through your brown hair and it ends up looking the same. That's how it looks. So I think it worked out well. You're not supposed to, like fucking bleach your hair or anything. Thanks, Lunchbox, for the 18. Did you miss anything? Nope, just chilling. Gonna play some PoE, wait for an announcement. Thanks, Job, for the 1 year. Nothing going on here. Cam. Yeah, I was looking at like Joker compilation to see what he was saying and stuff. I think it looks better in the smaller cam. It is harder to see the blemishes and shit that way. We'll keep this on. Still too fucking hot in here. Got some cold coffee in here I'm gonna try and drink. Oh no. Oh god. I'm going in. Yeah, there's some lipstick around the side. Hart, thanks for 42 months. Harley, wait for the announcement. Good one. I just need to find the Harley to my Joker now. Naughty, thanks for 13 months. Who the fuck has a straw in their house? Give me a break. Critical Hick, thanks for the 40. Uncle Wretched, thanks for the 10 gifted. I do recommend checking the opening clip if you want to see the proper acting talent. As always, just bricking myself while doing the prep. Super nervous about doing this stuff in front of a whole bunch of people, you know, since I am a introvert. As I was standing there thinking, like, waiting to come in, I'm like, man, it'd be cool if we could just have a heart rate monitor for you guys to see on screen. I'm sitting there going, doo-dum, 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 doo-dum. Just like every other fucking opening monologue. Thanks, Magus, for the 57. Bud for the 6. I am Peepo Shake. I guess I should be right back. I need to probably take one quick picture of the phone before I sit in here all day like this and it gets scuffed and whatever. Dude, it's actually completely perfect like the movie when you're walking around with the, you know, cam pointed at yourself and it's all like shaky and fucking dark in the background outside and stuff. It's just like you're in the movie scene when he's terrorizing that one dude. Stairs to dance down? Wrong Joker, I believe. How'd you get those scars? Yeah, that's the other thing. Thanks, Azratic, for the 9. You know, I couldn't do the how I got these scars scene with the knife since I was already warned about knife play with that sort of self-harm stuff once before. Like, I thought about it, then I'm like, actually, no, I can't do that. Doesn't matter what knife it is or how the knife looks. Make it myself? Yeah, it's just white face paint, some black face paint, and some lipstick. It also comes with these sort of you know, glue on side piece scar things. You can see. But they are really not sitting too right. And they were way too big. I like kind of colored in more white around the outside because otherwise they were... My face isn't that wide, you know? So it's like it was going way too high. Thanks, Juno, for the 18 months. Better Joker than Jared Leto? Wow, what a bar you have set for me. Knife Warning, yeah, Knife Warning was just pure cheese stream. That was just me. Wine, cheese, took the knife, and then I don't know, held it up like this and then licked the knife or something. Completely undangerously. And I was gonna get a 3-day ban for that. Because that was I don't know, promoting self-harm or something. So I've been pretty careful with knife stuff since then. Up for new league white paper sad. Level 100 sad cop got himself timed out for 2 weeks. Easy clap. Gloves a bit big. I mean, they're just shit fucking nothing gloves. They don't fit. They're not supposed to fit. They're just fucking, $2 fabric or something. So they don't exactly sit very well. So you have to keep trying to pull them on. What's that? 10,000 bits from Space Golf? That's going to fly in a bit later, but fucking hell. Thank you, man. That is very what used to be PogChamp of you. Appreciate the 10,000 bits, man. Make good content. Hey, we try. One step closer to being the richest man on Earth. I'm coming for you, Musk. Musk. Yeah, if you didn't see it, a couple hours ago, it was officially announced that Elon Musk is now the richest man on Earth. Because, Tesla took another 5% bump overnight or something. And he's got 190 billion worth at this point. It seems so weird, so hard to even quantify, because he basically just sat there and everyone else's share circle jerking just kept making him richer. Because it's not like he can capitalize on $190 billion worth of wealth. He can just fictionally have it. You know? What's he going to do? Sell all his Tesla shares? Yeah, okay. Made things for 34 months. Entropy. Thank you for the 72. Fucking hell, Entropy. That's a big one. You just got to... No, wait, you didn't. You're a founder. You can't see the new banana. Rip. Kajan, thanks for 28 months. Horizon, thanks for the 20 months. Yeah, just gotta make sure I do have a proper thing. I think that's about right. Yep. Okay. It's not, I can't do anything. I can't move my mouth without ripping everything off. Played the set the other day, been listening to it non-stop, so not asking you to play, just looking for reference. I'll see what that one is. SNX, I'm curious which one you've been playing non-stop. W&W? Yep. Banger. Thanks for 16 months. Yeah, stuff. Naximan, thanks for 3 months. Sub for Cosplay, thank you. Teshia, thanks for the 2 months. DJ Wingding, thanks for the 4. Collateral Damage for the 9. Sarge Large, Stazamar, Storm Shard with a 53-month tier 3. Big. I fully expect whatever's about to be released to be fucking colossal, so it was probably worth cosplaying for either way. Daft Fox, thanks for the 27-month resub. I mean, a little bit also, sure. FST, thanks for the 8 months. Do you want to know how I got these subscriptions? Money, I imagine. Nature Heals Everything, thanks for Prime Gaming. Why Joker? It was supposed to be for Mayhem League, but instead of the usual like 1 week delivery on this shit, it took fucking a month to get here, so it was very late. Oh, you want to know if we're just going to keep like pogs and stuff? I mean, yeah, I don't give a shit. We can keep it. I don't think it's wrong to keep pog and pog you and whatever. I'm not a $1 billion corporation. We pog because we are, not because of what the guy stands for. I'm Jaffa, thanks for 4 months. Anarchy, thanks for 2 months. Could have fun with cosplay. Thank you. We got like 30 minutes before the reveal. He hates that it's an emote. I don't know, I haven't really seen anything like that. I've heard about it. Drops are enabled on all streams in the PoE category. I mean, if you want to be safe, just have the main stream open and then watch whoever you want to watch. Gloves need to be white. No, they don't. No, I don't look at leaked info. Why the fuck would I do that? Literally have to wait 30 minutes for the entire official fucking reveal and hype, and you're just like, let me get some scuffed leak real quick. Calm down, you fucking child. Benizora, thanks for 22 months. Pacific Star, thanks for 5 months. 5? Pacific Star for the 5. Gifted. Sorry. Thank you. Hey Leon, thanks for the 2 months. You want your shitty magma wigs? It'll be interesting. Music maybe? The Dark Knight. Theme. If we're allowed to play it. Or if I'm gonna get banhammered. Oh yeah, no, fuck that. That's a banhammer. I'm not allowed to play that. In that case, I don't know. Fucking something. Taking a risk? Yeah. Do I look like a risk taker to you? No, thanks. I'm pretty sure my headphones are going to end up having yellow hairspray on them, but I don't think that matters. Yeah, that looks fine. The official stream being spam drop. Oh yeah, shit. I haven't even looked at that, huh? I should probably just have it on in the background. Drop. Fucking Twitch chat, dude. Your invites this league? Probably, I think, is what's supposed to happen anyway. Maxio, thanks for the 14 months. Slipped onto the ice and broke my ankle. That's rough. How's this a scuffed Joker? As good as a Joker as fucking the one from the movie. Suck my balls. Anyway, thanks for the 41 month tier 3. Also, the entire premise of the, like, Heath Ledger Joker is it's pretty scuffed. Like, especially in some scenes. As time goes on, like, the makeup's wearing off and... yeah. Mighty Mux, thanks for the Prime Gaming. It's expensive? Nah, it was like, I don't know, 90 bucks or something. None of these cosplays are really expensive because they're not like designed to be things you wear over and over again or looked into close detail. They're just things that people have a quick look at and go, oh yeah, that's a Joker, and then they fucking walk past you. Set Craze, thanks for the 21 months. Who did makeup? Me. Alright, keep from it? Fucked if I know. Oh, come on. Why'd whoever have to fucking post the thing on Reddit not do the clip and instead just did this? Ugh. I'm rectifying that mistake right now. Wine today? Why the fuck would we do that? You don't think the Joker shitposts on the internet? The gloves are back on, because it's not serious business anymore. Stoner, thanks for the 2 years. How did I get those scars? They came in some packaging. Tanties, I want to be in chat, Tanties. Such an idiot, dude. Like Links, thanks for gifting us up to Deku. Foxy Meerkat, I think I missed yours. Danimal, thank you as well. Slosh. What do we got? 55 months. Amazon Prime shipping. How am I dressed as Kek? This ain't Kek. You should be getting wing drops anywhere in any PoE stream category. Just have the main one open anyway. Zero Cool, thanks for 21 months. Damn, dude. Well, maybe you'll get your mind blown right now. Yeah, I did the makeup myself. It's not. I mean, things look a lot better on webcam because you can't see the finer details. But, yeah, it was an attempt. Thoroughly look forward to having a shower already. Still too fucking hot in here, Jesus. New spotter packs drop in game after the announcement? Probably. Maybe even the same time. Shower stream. Fuck you. We're such a bunch of fucking vultures. PoE segment. Look at us all sitting here waiting for the restream. Leeching content. What about classics? Mustache under makeup. What? I don't know what the fuck you were trying to say there. I fully shaved to paint my face. Because it would have come through otherwise. Classic Joker. Oh, that's what you're trying to say? Final Jake, thanks for 3 months. Actual hair dye? Just hairspray. You know, like kid stuff that you do for sports days or whatever. Browser Phrase, thanks for 31 months. Jesus, thanks for the 45 months. I couldn't find any more hairspray. I bought some like a couple weeks ago, but I was trying to find some green stuff and it was sold out everywhere because I guess teachers bought them for like sports days and shit. And there was some green hair dye that I was like, should I? Razzie, thanks for the 19 months. Bex commented on something. Where? Right, no. Oh, you a joke? My life. Badge. Aha, same. Yep, classic one. Oh, the Reddit thing you mean. I see. Chad with the $5. This is a joke for you, Doresso. He says it's a joke to you, doesn't he? And no, I take my job very seriously. Draxel, thanks for the 4 months. Otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd just sit back and relax like every other phone-it-in streamer, react to some content, collect my money, my fat billion-dollar serious business Twitch paycheck. Whale is on the moon, thanks for 4 months. Big pencil? You don't have a pencil. SMFK Panda, thanks for 5 months. Jesus, thanks for 4 months. Put on the aviators. Actually an idea. Recode 5, thanks for 6 months. Doji, thanks for the prime. I don't know if it works very well. I mean, kind of actually. It covers up the white on the, you know, the non-colored in area. It's actually covering up the left side of my face, huh? Got my first V5? Grants, dude. I got no V5s. I worked on like a V8 all day yesterday and almost got it. You're in the pads in your headphones? Probably not. I'm sure it'll be fine. Maybe it'll have a little bit of yellow on it. I mean, I kind of want to see my intro, but at the same time, I absolutely hate watching myself. I mean, not necessarily want to see my intro, but I want to show it again for you guys. Maybe I'll play it and go make a quick coffee or something. Because most people didn't see. This was how we walked in. Not even just watching myself, it's hearing myself. My god, I can't especially listen to myself doing a voice or something. Cross out, thanks for 2 months. Give me 1 sec. Can't hear myself, don't want to hear myself, fuck everything. Has anybody seen The Bald Man? I was told the Bald Man would be here. No? No? You know, we've come to expect a new Path of Exile League every 3 months. And nobody panics. We know to expect it. We wait for it. You delay the league by 1 little month. Everybody loses their minds. Hey, Lamau. Did that work? My acting talent? Porn acting? Let's see your acting. Can't. Resurrex, thanks for 2 months. That's Momo, thanks for the prime. Give it a 1 out of 10. Suck a wiener. We get Twitch Prime notice. I don't know what you mean, or what are you on about? Related to the attempted coup in America? Actually, I was worried about doing that, to be honest. Thanks, my caravan, for the 14 months. After all of yesterday's shit that went on for you guys in America, I was like, is this a bit tone deaf? Everlag, thanks for the 25 months. Not really. Yeah, I mean, that's what I ended up deciding, but you could imagine how some people would complain about it or like fucking go off about that sort of stuff, right? You could imagine it, but I decided, nah, it should be fine. There's people out on Twitch. I mean, probably not serious ones, no. I liked that, actually, the fucking Quinn. You guys see Quinn's tweet around that time? He's all like, yeah, fucking good stuff, guys, or some shit, but probably time to go home. You know, basically that was the sentiment. And that was like around the time everything was happening, or a couple hours after. And the only thing I could think of was like, yeah, Quinn, huge fucking overlap of the dudes rushing capital right now and the ones subscribed to your Twitter that are then gonna at some point stop, pull out their phone, check your latest tweet, and then go, ah, I guess I should leave. Like, fucking yup. Keep them lose weight. Thanks for the fucking fresh sub, dude. Fantasy Dream for the 16 months? What's the sauce? What do you mean? Sauce? No sauce? So I didn't get my haircut until now? Kind of. I also wasn't sure of what else I might cosplay as. So I'll probably get a haircut like after the League launch. Because I don't know what I'm going to do for that yet, since I don't know what the fucking League is. Thanks, Fast Eddie, for the Prime Gaming. Wing drops should be enabled on every PoE stream. Should be. Is that all you're fucking saying right now, dude? Alright. Love it. 10 minutes for you. I'll be right back. Just grabbing a teeny tiny coffee and a Kit Kat. Alright, here we go. What are the cat memes? My mom got a kitten like three or 4 weeks ago.
From Cairo, this is how you feeling with the future son of Egypt.
I have to hold my scars in place while chewing, otherwise it's gonna pop off. Rough life, yeah. Sacrifices I make for you people. Brainstorms, thanks for the 13 months. Suffix, thanks for the sub. What'd you say? 10 minutes, 10 gifted? Give us your best joke impression. I did at the start of the stream. I'm just gonna dance for you every time you ask, man. Chad Thunder Cock, thanks for 11 months, 10 out of 10 acting. Grilla, thank you for the 10, man. How are some people so inept at using Reddit? No offense, no longer. But did you see Beck's comment? You mean the one I replied to? Yeah. Yeah, I reckon I saw it. Songation, thanks for 4 months. Yep, Schwanz. Master Magnet, thanks for 19. I had to check with Bex if it was okay to send out a certain tweet for it and also do this thing. She was mildly concerned about it, but wasn't gonna stand in my way. Ghost Slayer, thanks for the 8 months. Living out 10 cosplay, well done. Go, thank you. That's a lot of points. Ransel Brett, thanks for the 3 months. Nadalkadonk, thanks for 27. Cosplay is for mayhem. It took a fucking month to get here. Ace Rules, thanks for the Prime Gaming. BRSMP, thanks for the Prime Gaming. I don't know anything about the upcoming league. Zaratel, thanks for 15 months. No, I don't watch any Magnus Midway. Hugs for Peace, thanks for 2 months. Serologic, thanks for 2 months. CDR Remember, thanks for 7 months. You got a sub to me? Thank you. My effort pays off. The Nurse Joker cosplay? Probably not. That's when. JMW thinks of 42. And it's because we're all sponsored for like throwing out a tweet about the announcement. You gotta clear your tweet with the fucking people and they clear it with GGG. And my tweet had to be related to this, obviously, because, you know, I'm doing it. Mr. Tiny PP, thanks for the 2-month resub. Long hair green. It's yellowish, but it's just gonna shower off. Bloodwick, thanks for the Prime Game. Flame Gear, thanks for giving me sub to Horror. Contribute some Scrunchroll. God, that's gonna rip off soon, I reckon. Tub thinks for 3 months. The hell? This is a Rammstein fucking sample? There's some trance? Bralon thinks for 6 months. You're welcome, man. This is the first time we've had an announcement stream. I think they said it's going to have like 3 hours worth of shit. A lot of viewers in that stream. What are we at? 83,000. That's pretty solid. I imagine it's going to bump up to over 100 soon. 3 hours. I think that's what they said. They'll be like, I assume the trailer and then like they're going to go over everything and then other shit are happening. Stream, Q&A, and Bayclust. Ah. That part of it? Thanks, Toff, for the 10 months. You know what? No one cares, dude. No one cares. Dye your hair green? It's yellow. And no, it's hairspray. You can tell it's kind of yellow. Just this kid's sort of hairspray that lasts until you shower. I hope. BC Whip, thanks for the Prime Gaming. Badass cosplay, thanks. Thanks, Bobs, for the 17 months. I'm not going to smile more, because my scars will come off. See that? It's like stuck on. And it's not very good, the glue. Thanks, Fresh D, for the 39 months. Yeah, dude, I cut my mouth for the fucking cosplay. Good one. Lol, lol, lol. To the Why So Serious line. I already did it once, but give me a sec. I don't want to scare anyone. Don't want to freak anyone out. I'm going into the Why So Serious line, okay? Why so serious? There you go. Revolution, thanks for 5 months. Naughty Sidetal, thanks for 2 months. Headling, thanks for the Prime. Woodspring, thanks for 7 months. Lsat, thanks for the Prime. Boseka, thanks for 2 months. Yeah, Chundate. Honia, thanks for the 22. Zenyatta, thanks for the 5 months. Why do I have infinite cax? Because I am Lord of the Cax. Feels Batman. Yep. Kickin', thanks for the 200 bits. Watch Whiplash. No one, TN. Like, literally no one. We went over this yesterday. Jerks. Next City, and thanks for 4 months. Mum says you owe child support. Ah. Dude, don't fucking vial yourself right now. Like, it's fucking release time. I don't know. I've got enough time to vial you, I suppose. Anyone else that vials from now on, or like self-bans, probably just gets their kex wasted. R3! Very deserved. Who the fuck was it? Mucky Mucky? Fuck's sake. 9. Alright. We're gonna start watching this chat. Get your react faces on. Wind up those pause champs. Made sure to be here today, been stacking up. Thanks, say it's MK. This is the official thing, right? Yep. Okay. We're in theater mode? No. We'll do it with chat still. We need this chat as well. That's as much volume as I can
what you ask, no man. Curiosity is a charming trait until it is not. Curiosity. Information will be volunteered, not coerced. It will create more questions than it answers. When at last their shadow is cast upon the firmament, it will take more than you can possess to bind and silence the screams within your mind.
Dude, was my cosplay on point?
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
The bald
Thank you
man.
so much for joining us today as we unveil Path of Exile's 3.13 expansion. This release contains everything you've come to expect from a Path of Exile expansion release. A new challenge league, new skills, new items, metagame rebalances, and an endgame content update which will leave a lasting impact on Path of Exile. Our team have been very hard at work over the last few months, and we've got a lot up our sleeves to share with you today. But before we jump in, we wanted to mention that Twitch drops are enabled for the duration of this live stream. Below the stream, you'll find the instructions to link your Path of Exile account to Twitch so that you're eligible to receive drops. 2020 was certainly a difficult year for development, but it was also one that saw a lot of big things happen with Path of Exile. In late 2019, we held our first ExileCon convention, where we announced several projects, including Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile Mobile. Throughout 2020, we developed 4 major expansions: Delirium, Harvest, and Heist, as well as the one we're going to unveil today. We launched on the Epic Games Store and released our Vulkan renderer and a macOS client for Path of Exile. We're really proud of what we achieved last year under difficult conditions and can't wait to continue the journey with you through 2021, where we expect to reveal much more about Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile Mobile, as well as 4 releases for Path of Exile, including the one you're about to see. Chat. Thanks again for being here with us. It wouldn't be possible without you. In today's livestream, we'll kick things off with a 3.13 announcement trailer, then take a deep dive into exploring the new expansion's content and features. Once the reveals are wrapped up, we'll launch into a live Q&A where community streamer Ziggy D will ask me questions from Twitch chat, so be sure to get your questions ready. Once the Q&A is over, we'll be jumping into an episode of the Bay Class podcast, where Taki Cat and his crew of Path of Exile veterans will discuss today's reveals. I'm sure you're keen for me to stop talking and start revealing
How am I
content,
not
so let's jump
appropriate
right
enough
into the
for this?
3.13 trailer. See you on the other side.
What the shit? I came dressed for the occasion. Brand risks edge.
What drives you, Exile? Is it justice? Revenge?
Loot?
Honor?
Is it loot?
No. It is power.
In the form of loot.
We felt your deeds. Felt their shockwaves ripple through the void. You have our attention. Now you must keep it.
Is that a porcupine boss?
Your limits will be tested. Break them. Do what is thought impossible, and the Atlas will follow.
Whoa. Fighting on the Atlas thing? That looks cool as fuck. New maps. Reworked Ascendancies. Deadeye and Elementalist. Heist. Ritual League. It's like a beefier version of Shrines, basically. Whoa, fuck that. No. Imagine playing hardcore, chat.
The stars themselves will bear silent witness. How far will you bend before you break?
Oh shit. Who's she? Is that the chick that we're supposed to care about? Echoes of the Atlas.
That's one of my favorite Path of Exile trailers. We've released, like 35 trailers so far over the last decade, and I still get shivers watching each new one.
Jesus.
Props to our video guy Eben for great work as usual. So there's a lot to cover based on what we've just seen. Let's get right into it.
Do it.
In 2016, we introduced the Atlas of Worlds, a formal progression system for Path of Exile's endgame maps that culminated in a pinnacle boss fight against the Shaper. Since then, the War for the Atlas and Conquerors of the Atlas expansions have expanded the Atlas system, introduced new endgame bosses, broadened mechanics, added new rewards, and provided more opportunity for mastery of Path of Exile's endgame.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's only
The
been
Echoes
4
of the
years.
Atlas expansion introduces a new pinnacle boss, a new way to fight many map bosses at the same time, 11 new maps to explore, and new endgame rewards to earn. Just a few map tiers into Echoes of the Atlas, you will begin to encounter an NPC called the Envoy. It seems that when the Elder was sealed, its absence didn't go unnoticed.
He looks pretty
The
cool.
Envoy speaks ominously of new visitors to the Atlas. The first such visitor, and the focus of this endgame expansion, is an entity called the Maven.
The Maven.
You'll first encounter the Maven in the boss arena of a map, where she will make the boss encounter more difficult and watch as you do your best to defeat it. If you're successful, she'll give you her beacon, which lets you call her to any map in that region, so she can watch more fights.
Ooh. What?
After showing her your boss-killing prowess, she will give you an invitation to her own realm, where she has prepared a special challenge.
Ooh. Sounds cool.
The Maven really
Whoa,
wants to push you to your
Jack.
limits and has fabricated copies of the bosses she watched you defeat. This time, however, you'll have to defeat them simultaneously. If you manage to best her challenge, she'll politely ask you to do the whole cycle again, except this time she wants to watch more and tougher fights, and her next challenge will contain 4 bosses, then 5, then 6, and finally 10.
10 bosses at once.
If you're
Hardcore players
persistent and
actually
talented,
molding.
you may even get to fight the Maven herself, in a very difficult boss encounter designed to challenge the strongest and best Path of Exile players. Completing the
That's
Maven's challenges offers the opportunity to
maybe
acquire
me?
some very powerful new rewards, including Atlas passive skill points, craftable watchstones, and even the Maven's Orb.
I want a Maven's Orb. I don't know what it is.
As you complete the Maven's challenges, you'll earn a new type of
What
passive
the
skill points
fuck?
that can be allocated on a special passive skill tree in that region of the Atlas of Worlds. Each of the Atlas's regions has its own passive tree, and they generally have around 20 nodes to choose from. You can earn up to a total of 10 skill points per Atlas region.
A region?
Let's check out some of the Atlas passive choices in the Glennick Cairns region. This branch allows you to focus on Beyond, increasing the amount of experience granted by Beyond monsters, but also allowing you to spawn more Beyond monsters really easily. The Torn
not
Veil
here.
notable will drastically increase the quantity of Beyond demons you can encounter. The Legion branch has a notable passive which increases the amount of time you have to break enemies out, and makes it easier to break them out. It's an example of a skill that you could invest into while you're weak, and then remove it later once you're more powerful. And yes, as I implied here, there is an orb that lets you refund Atlas passives. The Incursion branch allows you to more easily get higher tier rooms in the Temple of Atsuato,
Oh,
and helps
shit.
you make a definitive decision on whether to swap specific rooms. On the Ambush branch, the tamper-proof notable passive upgrades all strongboxes to be rare and corrupted. This
Ooh.
synergizes incredibly well with the Ambush Zana mod or prophecies like Monstrous Treasure. While it
Yeah.
prevents you from re-rolling valuable types of strongboxes, the sheer number of corrupted 6-socket and 6-link items will certainly be tempting.
They thought about how to make this shit
Now
relevant in
let's have a
today's
look at
world.
the Atlas passive choices
is good.
available in the Lex Proxima region. The Harvest branch can increase your chances of finding a sacred grove, increase its crafting rewards, and make it more likely that you'll encounter a Shabi. We'll explain later in the presentation about how Harvest is being integrated into the core game in this expansion. The Torment branch can increase
Interesting.
item drops from possessed and touched monsters, as well as populating the area with some already possessed monsters.
Up to
These
20
synergize
rare
quite
monsters
well with the
are
sextants
possessed.
that guarantee a certain amount of rewards from possessed monsters.
I mean, that's
The
a
Delve
lot of
branch
extra
can
loot,
increase
chat.
your Sulfite gains, grant more Master Favor, and grant more Nico Master missions. The Sulfite Infusion notable passive grants Sulfite for defeating map bosses, regardless of whether the area has Nico present. This means that you'll be constantly gaining Sulfite for every map you do in a region, which is a great strategy if you're not already using Sulfite Scarabs aggressively.
Jesus.
There are also Breach passives, which increase your chances of encountering a breach and ramp up the difficulty and rewards of your breaches. Naturally, new endgame content means new endgame rewards. Watchstones are an endgame item that can be placed in the Atlas of Worlds to upgrade a region's map tiers and add new base maps to that region. There are 2 types of existing watchstones: quest item ones that can upgrade a region and can't be traded between players, and unique ivory watchstones that provide special bonuses and can be traded. These unique ones are consumed after a number of maps are run.
Okay. Nothing
The
new
Echoes
there.
of the Atlas expansion introduces 3 new types of craftable watchstones: titanium,
Craftable.
chromium, and platinum. Like regular watchstones, these never expire, but unlike regular watchstones, they can be traded and crafted. They are found quite late in your progression through the Atlas.
Never
The
expire.
eventual goal is that you replace all of your base quest item watchstones with new craftable ones over time as you upgrade your Atlas.
Whoa.
Each of these 3 types of new watchstone has its own special mod pool, but there's also a shared mod pool that they all draw from. Like flasks, they can only be normal or magic. You can't find or craft rare watchstones. Because you can have up to 4 watchstones socketed in a region, up to 8 mods can affect that region, and some quite large bonuses to specific content can be stacked.
Yeah.
When combined with the Atlas passive trees, these really allow you to optimize what
0.25%
content you
chance to have a
encounter
white
and the
socket?
rewards from that content.
Max
The
sockets all
Maven's
time,
Orb
yeah.
is an endgame crafting currency item that can only drop from the Maven herself.
Alright, what do we
It
got?
allows you to craft influence modifiers when 2 or more are present on an item by removing one modifier and upgrading another. When upgrading an influence modifier of the current highest tier, it upgrades to a new elevated tier that can have additional properties.
Og.
This foul
First.
regalia has 2 Crusader influence modifiers on it, the percentage increased intelligence one and the physical damage taken as lightning damage one. When we apply a Maven's Orb to it, it randomly removes one of these mods and upgrades the other one to become an elevated influence mod. In this case,
Whoa.
it upgraded the increased intelligence mod to also have +1 to the level of socketed intelligence gems. The other influence mod was removed. This opens up a mod slot, of course, so it's now possible to add another mod to it. Let's YOLO exalt it for good measure.
Oh yeah, YOLO.
Maven's Orb crafting is only going to be performed by the upper echelons of elite players,
Yeah.
and pushes the boundaries of the best
Pretty sure it's
items
not
that are
going to be
possible in
relevant
Path
for most
Exile.
of us. It sounds like Imagine an Awakener
One of
orb,
the things that
but
players look
harder
forward
to
to in
get.
an endgame Path of Exile expansion is new maps to play. In Echoes of the Atlas, we have added 11 new types of maps to the Atlas of Worlds, covering a wide variety of environments. And of course, each comes with its own challenging boss fight. Let's have a look at 4 of these new tile sets.
Cool. A lot of ground clutter. That is not where you want to fight. Fucking porcupine boss, I think. Ooh, that's cool.
One of the reasons why these new maps look so good is that the environment art tileset and level design teams working on them have been doing so much work on Path of Exile 2 recently. And it's not just the 4 maps that we showed you here. There are 7 other new maps with their own bosses to discover in-game in this expansion.
Who the fuck is that?
Whenever we release a new quarterly Path of Exile update, we start a new challenge league. These are essentially a fresh server to play on for that expansion launch, where players explore the new league mechanics, rush to conquer the new economy, race to level 100, and try to get the best items before their friends. The challenge league being released alongside Echoes of the Atlas is the Ritual League. In the Ritual League, you'll discover several mysterious altars in each area you explore. Slay the
Several?
monsters at the ritual site and then activate the altar to initiate the ritual. When it begins, you'll be enclosed within the ritual circle and will have to face off against both the onslaught of monsters you've just slain and also the specific powers of that altar. Each subsequent ritual in the area will summon all the monsters from the previous ones, so the difficulty and reward ramp up as you
Jesus
challenge
Christ.
yourself with each successive ritual. Monsters you kill after you have activated a ritual grant you points called Tribute. At the end of each ritual, you'll have an opportunity to spend this tribute on various reward items.
Damn, that's
These
a
items
fucking
vary
cool
greatly
mechanic.
in power and cost, so you may find you can afford several cheaper ones or one more valuable one. For clarity, Tribute doesn't transfer between game areas.
That's
As
pretty
you complete
fucking cool.
subsequent rituals in the same area, more potential rewards will be revealed, which can be very expensive. If you can't afford to purchase a reward outright, you can spend a portion of its cost to defer it until later. This means that it will show up in a later area at a reduced price.
Wow.
Items can be deferred multiple times until you can eventually afford them, and for some of the most valuable rewards in this league, this may be
Four
the easiest way to
exalts.
obtain them.
Don't debate me, Chris Wilson. I'm never
You can also
seeing
spend
4
some tribute
exalts.
to re-roll the contents of the reward screen one time per instance if you'd like a new set of reward
You can
items to choose
re-roll
from.
it? Gumba?
Among the many other rewards you can choose from in Ritual are a special new set of Ritual base types. These are craftable items that have different implicit modifiers than Path of Exile's regular base types. Specifically, they have a strong upside
items.
combined with an accompanying downside. If you can create a build that mitigates this drawback, then you can take advantage of the power of these items and craft them into something amazing.
Downside.
For example, these Nexus gloves reduce your maximum mana, but have a chance of immediately refunding the mana spent to use a skill.
Okay.
If you can work around this restriction to your mana pool, you can periodically use skills
That
for
is a
essentially
really
no
cool
mana
league
cost.
idea.
Here are two other examples of ritual base types, the Penitent Mask and the Storm Rider Boots. The Penitent Mask applies the Crush debuff to you, removing your physical damage protection. However, its upside is that it increases the effect of Fortify on you by quite a lot, reducing the damage you take from hits.
My builds.
There are many situations where this is a huge win,
1 to
such
5
as if you
lightning
already
with
have no
200
armor or
accuracy.
endurance charges. The Storm Rider Boots reduce your accuracy rating but provide a huge added lightning damage boost to your attacks based on your accuracy rating. If you have other sources of accuracy to rely on, then this is potentially a huge increase to the lightning damage you deal. In the endgame, you can obtain ritual vessels, which allow you to itemize the monsters from a ritual. You can place up to 4 vessels in the map device alongside a map to add the monsters stored in those vessels to the rituals present in the map. This increases both the difficulty and rewards of the rituals.
The
as well as generating
customization,
even more
chat.
tribute to spend on those rewards.
Man, seriously. Why and who would ever play hardcore ever
For example, because there's a chance of encountering a Headhunter or Mirror of Kalandra as rewards, using ritual vessels increases the chances you'll be offered those items and allows you to afford them. In addition, you can use these vessels to substantially increase monster density in maxed out maps that have mechanics like Beyond or Delirium present. Using vessels, you have control over the risk and reward of your hardest ritual encounters.
And Beyond's going to be
Vessels are
insane, all
tradable
those
both
things.
before and after they contain monsters.
Actually insane.
In addition to the new endgame content in the Ritual Challenge League, a large focus of the Echoes of the Atlas expansion is on its Ascendancy classes. Path of Exile has 19 Ascendancy classes, which let you specialize your character further than the base character classes allow.
Huge incoming.
To unlock your Ascendancy class, you must find the Altar of Ascendancy at the end of the Lord's Labyrinth. In this expansion, we've rebalanced every one of these 19 classes and have significantly reworked 3 of them: the Elementalist, the Inquisitor, and the Deadeye. The aim of these changes is to redistribute and simplify power so that Ascendancy passive skills perform stronger single functions more effectively. Let's check some of them out. The Elementalist has always been a good general Ascendancy class for many elemental builds, but lacked really in-depth build options. Now you can pick which elemental ailments to use for greater build customization, as well as providing more consistent power against tougher enemies. The Elementalists can also protect themselves from a large amount of elemental damage.
I'm listening.
Bastion of Elements provides a significant defensive shield against elemental damage, which can be further improved by allocating more skills on your passive tree and Ascendancy tree.
That's pass.
The
Next
Liege of
node.
the Primordial and Elemental skills focus on Golem builds. Taking Liege of the Primordial now means that your Golems are automatically resummoned 4 seconds after they die. To make your Golems immune to elemental damage, you'll now need to spec into Elementor as well as Liege of the Primordial. Previously, the Shaper of Desolation skill forced you to improve both Shocking and Chilling, even if you didn't use both. We've now moved these benefits into their own branches, culminating in the Shaper of Flames, Winter, and Storm skills, allowing you to pick which ailments you improve. You can use and enhance Ignite, Chill, and Shock on any build.
Wow.
Mastermind of Discord no longer focuses on heralds and allows you to strip all elemental resistances from your enemies effectively. Pendulum of Destruction has been reworked as Heart of Destruction, providing more elemental damage or area of effect when you need them most.
Wow.
The Inquisitor has derived much of its power from its Inevitable Judgment skill, but the rest of the tree was fairly straightforward and lacked anything truly unique. After our changes in this expansion, many more of the Inquisitor skills provide significantly more offensive or defensive power, while Instruments of Zeal opens up an entirely new and very unique playstyle. Let's have a look at some of the new Inquisitor Ascendancy skills.
Oh shit.
Pious Path no longer affects attack and cast speed, and now allows you to double the potential recovery of life regeneration by having it apply equally to Energy Shield.
Okay. Pretty whatever.
Sanctuary no longer provides mana, but now has a larger damage bonus from Consecrated Ground, up from 10% to 15%.
Still pretty whatever, but nice. Bit of extra
Righteous
damage.
Providence has been simplified a lot. It still focuses on
Increase
critical strike
crit
chance, but it now
per
scales
point.
it up by a percentage equivalent to either your strength or intelligence value, whichever one is lowest. It also provides plus 50 to both of these attributes,
Good
which
for
is a
Mjolnir,
huge benefit
eh?
in multiple ways. You will definitely want lots of both attributes.
You're fucking good for a Mjolnir build.
Instruments of Virtue has been simplified and made more powerful.
More
Its
attack
benefits
damage
no
from
longer
bonus
strictly
and stuff,
apply
yeah.
if you've cast a spell or attacked recently,
Okay.
but it now grants 10% more attack damage for each non-instant spell you've cast recently, up to a maximum of 30%.
Battle Mage.
It also grants Battle Mage, which causes you to gain
Cool.
added spell damage equal to the damage of your main hand weapon. This provides a lot of new hybrid spellcast and melee build possibilities.
Okay.
You can combine Instruments of Virtue with the new Instruments of Zeal Ascendancy passive. This introduces the concept of fanaticism, which causes spells you cast yourself to have 75% more cast speed, reduced mana cost, and increased area of effect.
Fuck,
Fanaticism is gained by using attacks regularly, giving huge bonuses for weaving attacking and spellcasting together. Historically, the Deadeye Ascendancy was the best place to find a variety of strong projectile-based effects, but over time more of these effects have shown up on items, and the Deadeye has lost much of what made it unique. We've brought the uniqueness back to this Ascendancy with a variety of new mechanics that enable new ways to build and play ranges.
Wow.
Let's have a look at the new Deadeye Ascendancy skills.
What the fuck is going on there?
Now deals 60% more damage to enemies far away from you, which is up from 30% before, but now also deals 20% less damage to enemies that are close. It no longer has a projectile speed bonus, but now removes the spread from your barrages.
Okay.
This additional damage rewards Deadeyes who can keep their distance from their targets. Previously, Ricochet caused your projectiles to chain an additional time and granted 10% more damage for each
colliding with
chain.
terrain.
The new Ricochet allows your projectiles to both chain an additional time and have a chance to chain off walls and terrain. Endless Munitions has been simplified to offer 2 additional projectiles rather than 1 additional projectile and some other minor bonuses. This skill is accessible behind 3 of the Deadeye's paths, making it an option for many different Deadeye builds. Occupying Force is a new skill that benefits Mirage Archers by granting you additional ones and allowing them to be separate from you. Gathering Winds now always grants Tailwind to permanently boost your speed, and the increase to Tailwind effect per skill used is now given by the Gale Force buff.
Holy fuck.
Wind Ward enhances the Gathering Winds passive by making Gale Force a lot more effective, with the drawback of losing all Gale Force if you're hit. If you can stay out of the fray, this potentially makes your character even more potent.
Fucking hell.
The Rupture skill previously helped Critical Strike bleed builds. It's been renamed to Rupture Ring and it's been simplified while being made more powerful.
25%
Critical strikes
more
that inflict bleeding now also inflict Rupture, which causes bleeding enemies to lose more life, but their bleed expires more quickly.
Up to 3 ruptures can affect a
skill
target?
which improves the effect of mark skills that were made more powerful in our recent Heist expansion. It increases the effect of your marks by 75% and makes surrounding enemies deal less damage to you.
This Ascendancy's nutty.
As you have seen, the Elementalist, Inquisitor, and Deadeye have undergone some major changes in this expansion. We have also improved the other 16 Ascendancy classes and will show you some of the changes to the Slayer to demonstrate what you can expect.
Slayer
Some
buffs?
Slayer effects were much stronger than others, limiting build choice. We've now provided more power spread out over a wider selection of passives, while allowing easier access to the Slayer's special leech mechanic. Brutal Fervor and Endless Hunger have switched places on their Ascendancy branch so that Life Leech is more accessible and can be further improved by speccing into Endless Hunger. Masterful Form still causes you to have endurance charges equal to the number of frenzy charges you have, but now grants an additional frenzy charge instead of increasing endurance and frenzy charge duration. Overwhelm's base critical strike chance for attacks with weapons has been increased.
That's pretty large.
Hopefully you now have a good idea of the scope of changes that we have made to the 19 Ascendancy classes. While the biggest changes to the 3 we're heavily revamping, the Elementalist, Inquisitor, and Deadeye, all of the others have received at least numeric attention also. We believe that the new design philosophy for Ascendancy passives makes them easier to understand and that they are a more concentrated source of power. We look forward to revealing the rest of the changes next week. Like with improving Ascendancy classes, adding new skill and support gems to Path of Exile helps create new ways to play. In Echoes of the Atlas, we've introduced 2 new gems that provide versatile ways for you to build powerful new characters. These are the Hydrosphere skill gem and the Trinity support gem. First, let's have a look at Hydrosphere. This summons a huge sphere of water that you can move around to crush enemies. While it is active, you can apply cold or lightning ailments to it. It will then pulse for a duration, afflicting nearby enemies with damage matching that ailment. This player is applying Freeze to the Hydrosphere with Freezing Pulse, and that causes it to repeatedly damage surrounding enemies with cold damage.
Kinda like a totem, huh? But
here's the gem hover for Hydrosphere. This skill gem can be acquired from level 34 and can be supported with Spell, Area of Effect, Duration, Cold, Warp, Lightning, and Physical support gems. It pulses every 0.4 seconds while an ailment is applied to it. It also converts its physical damage to cold or lightning damage based on what ailments are on it. The Trinity support gem is designed to support builds that deal multiple types of elemental damage. While Trinity supports your skill, any hits that deal damage with a specific element will build resonance with the other 2 elements. The more resonance you have of every element, the more damage the Trinity support gem provides. When you have high resonance with all 3 elements, Trinity also grants elemental penetration. Here you can see the player using Ball Lightning with Unleash and Magma Orb to build resonance across all 3 elements. To power up the Trinity support gem quickly and uniformly, the player alternates between pairs of elemental damage types. Combined with the elemental weakness curse, the maximum resonance Trinity absolutely decimates enemies.
Yeah, looks good.
In addition to introducing the 2 entirely new gems we described, we've done an extensive balance pass on other skills. We have buffed over 40 existing gems, including skills such as Scorching Ray, Seismic Trap, Firestorm, Venom Gyre, Static Strike, Kinetic Bolt, Crackling Lance, Lightning Strike, Shrapnel Ballista, and Artillery Ballista. Full details will be available in the patch notes next week so that you can plan your perfect build. As well as introducing and rebalancing skills, another important aspect of keeping the metagame fresh in a Path of Exile expansion is adding new unique items to discover and build characters around. Unlike most items you find in Path of Exile that are randomly generated, unique items are extremely rare ones that our design team have hand-created to offer new build opportunities. Echoes of the Atlas introduces 10 new unique items, some of which are exclusive to its new endgame encounters. Let's have a look at a few. These are some unique worm-scale boots called Legacy of Fury. They place Scorched Ground as you travel, which applies the Scorch element to enemies standing in it. When scorched enemies die, they have a chance to set fire to surrounding enemies, dealing a percentage of the slain enemy's life over time. These boots create an interesting and new way to support your build with fire damage. This is a new unique amethyst ring called Black Flame, which is themed around fire and chaos damage. Its headline effect is that your ignites now deal chaos damage, along with a cool new chaos ignited effect on monsters. Also, if you ignite a withered enemy while wearing Black Flame, the wither will no longer expire, and you can build up to its maximum of 15 stacks, if the enemy survives long enough, that is. Along with its various other benefits, this unique ring should ignite a few new ways of playing fire and chaos damage characters. These new Zealot gloves are called Hand of the Fervent and create an interesting interaction between physical damage and the mana cost of skills. The unique ability of these gloves happens whenever you use a skill. They grant an effect called Sacrificial Zeal, which both adds a quarter of the skill's mana cost to spell physical damage, but also hurts you, to the tune of 150% of the skill's mana cost over 4 seconds. They also reduce your enemy's physical damage reduction. When we have time during an expansion's development, we try to identify past leagues that can be integrated into the core game as optional side content, with a few improvements. This expansion contains 2 such leagues. Last year, we released the Harvest League, which allowed you to grow a garden of monsters, fight them, and then use their lifeblood to craft your items in powerful ways. Watching this league unfold made us realize 2 things. Firstly, the crafting options were so powerful and so easily accessible that players had unprecedented access to almost everything they wanted very quickly. Secondly, even the players who did enjoy the mechanics of growing their own garden would probably find it boring if that was something they had to do every single league. When deciding how to integrate Harvest into the core game, we knew that we had to curtail crafting somehow, but we didn't want to just do this by nerfing it a lot. We needed a smarter solution that still allowed players to earn and perform powerful crafts.
Ziggy and fucking Chris.
We also knew that we didn't want players to have to grow and manage their own gardens every league. So let's check out how Harvest works as part of the core game in Echoes of the Atlas. In Echoes of the Atlas, as you play through maps, rather than finding a seed cache, you'll now encounter a portal to the Sacred Grove. But it's not your own Sacred Grove, it's an established one that has a full complement of plants ready to harvest, fight, and craft with.
I missed what the fuck's happening.
The grove contains several pairs of harvests to choose between, each displaying the details of the fight and the corresponding crafting options. You can only pick one of each pair, so carefully choose which crafting options are best for you, defeat the monsters, and use their life force to perform the crafts.
Congrats, guys. I guess it works.
If you're strong enough to kill the monsters, each grove represents quite a lot of crafting opportunities, and you can save up to 10 crafts for later use at the Hoarder crafting station, which is now available in your hideout. We like this compromise because it keeps the exciting elements of harvest, fighting, and crafting, and drops the part that got old quickly, seed management and garden planning. We're also integrating the Heist League into the core game as optional content, with a few improvements. In Heist, players travel to the Rogue Harbor to hire a crew of thieves to help them plan and execute risky heists, working towards a thief's ultimate goal, pulling off a grand heist. In the Echoes of the Atlas expansion, heist contracts drop from Act 6 onwards. Rogues level up their skills.
You gotta watch for 30 minutes, chat.
Markers drop
Total.
higher stack sizes, and quest
It will
contracts
happen
that'll
if,
drop for
if
you
you've
the
been here
next
for 30
smuggler's
minutes
cache as soon as
non-stop
that quest is
and
available.
have the connection.
One great aspect of Heist is that all of its progress items are tradable. So if you're focusing on other content, you can trade away your contracts until you're ready to go on some heists. So we've covered most of the big features of Echoes of the Atlas so far. Keep an eye out for the patch notes in a few days where we will detail other changes that didn't make it into this presentation.
Credit!
Soon we'll move on to the Q&A about today's announcements. But first, let's have a quick look at the new supporter packs that are available right now to celebrate the Echoes of the Atlas expansion and the Ritual Challenge League, and to help fund the ongoing development of Path of Exile. The Faithsworn and Renegade supporter packs come with masses of points to spend in the store, social frames, forum titles and badges, a download of the digital soundtrack, and of course exclusive cosmetic microtransactions such as armor sets and character effects.
Yeah, is pretty cool.
The Renegade series has an exclusive pet, and the Faithsworn series an exclusive portal effect. Each series has 2 packs, and the smaller packs can be upgraded to their respective larger packs at any time while they are still on sale.
That's a really cool set. I want it.
These are, of course, in addition to the new core packs that we released a couple of weeks ago. Remember to check those out if you haven't already. Thanks so much for your support. As you know, purchases of these packs are what fund ongoing development of Path of Exile, its expansions, and its sequel. Speaking of Path of Exile 2, we know you're keen for an update. While today is all about Path of Exile and Echoes of the Atlas, we have plenty of Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile Mobile updates planned for you this year, which will start sooner than you think. Our team have been creating some amazing stuff and we can't wait to reveal it to you.
Jesus.
So, I'm sure you have a bunch of burning questions about Echoes of the Atlas. Stay tuned as we're joined by Ziggy D, who will be hosting a Q&A with me based on your questions from Twitch chat.
Exclamation claim. Have they not got theirs yet? Like, we've all got ours? Where the fuck's theirs? We're all winning here. Official stream still has nothing. Get wrecked, noobs. Quit typing claim, idiots. You just have to watch for 30 minutes total, chat. Make sure your thing is connected to Twitch and whatever, and yeah. Thanks for the resubs, guys, those that did. Obviously can't catch them during this shit. Man, that was huge. I told you to be fucking big. How could you not expect hugeness from, like, the usual December expansion? And then it was a month later, even. My god. Even just the league mechanic looks pretty goddamn well made. It's gonna be, like, essentially a Breach shrine mechanic that gets beefier as you go. It's beefy. But then, yeah, all the other shit. Oh my god, the Ascendancy stuff. Oh my god, the skill gem reworks. Oh my god. Be the website down? I mean, probably, if there's like literally a billion people trying to log into it right now. Still playing some map regions? I assume it just happens. Probably similar to Watchstones, or maybe it comes with the Watchstones. Maybe you get like one every time you get a Watchstone or some shit. The one thing I missed completely was how Harvest was happening, because fucking, you know, Ziggy and Chris on Discord kind of got in the way. I straight up didn't see what happened or notice.
To the Q&A segment for today's reveal. Thank you very much for joining us, Chris Wilson.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks very much for hosting. That was a lot of fun, actually.
That was
glad to be here, boys.
I think since ExileCon, the most dense info reveal that we've had all in one go. I think people are a little bit overwhelmed. I saw a lot of people kind of exploding in chat, saying too much with the heads exploding.
Yeah, it was honestly trying to revive what we were doing at XLCon with this announcement. We had a lot of fun presenting everything ourselves to the players last year on stage, and we thought, why not try that again? Took a bunch of work to prepare the live stream, of course, but yeah, I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, I was going to ask actually, because this is quite different to how you normally go about revealing things. So I was trying to recapture that ExileCon magic a little bit, which I think everyone is kind of in need of at the moment. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good distraction away from real world stuff and a good chance to get stuck into some PoE in the new year.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump into some questions, and this is a live Q&A. So you, of course, can post your questions in chat as well. Chris, phone's off, Chris.
Yeah. Well, people are just calling me on Discord because they see me on Twitch.
They're excited. They're like, hey, I'm going to call Chris right now. Now's the perfect
You're on
time
the
to
internet, bro.
Hey, Chris, wow, do you realize you're on the internet? We're going to jump into some pre-made questions, but you, of course, can submit your questions in the chat. We have a team of mods who will pull out questions throughout that we'll answer a little bit later on.
Is it me?
First, though, let's start with
Chris
Echoes
Wilson
of
on
the
Discord?
Atlas, the new overall major expansion. So this is like the core game content expansion, really end game focus, with this character, the Maven. So this seems like an expansion to the Cyrus and Conquerors endgame that we have right now, in a similar fashion to how the Elder was an expansion to the Shaper endgame. Is there a similar sort of intertwining of the storylines here, like there was with the Shaper and Elder?
So our goal is that they exist entirely in parallel to each other, right? Like the Maven stuff is there at the same time as all the Cyrus stuff. But story-wise, they're different. It's more of a story expansion to the Elder storyline, actually, because whatever type of entity the Elder was, the Maven is also. And so there's some stuff for players to explore there. And so the Cyrus stuff still exists in parallel. We haven't taken anything away. Though we do want to foreshadow that it's very likely that before the release of Path of Exile 2, we'll probably remove or substantially modify the Cyrus storyline as well. We're still evolving the endgame in the direction we wanted to be in for the release of PoE 2, but the Maven will probably be around for some time.
I really like this otherworldly stuff that you've been kind of hinting at for years, like these other kind of universes that leak into ours in Path of Exile. So this seems like a further exploration of that, which I'm pretty excited about. But what led to the decision to kind of go that route and continue with like the Elder kind of connected storyline instead of continuing or doing something else with Cyrus's? Or was that just self-contained and felt complete?
140,000
the writers have a lot of plan for what they want to do in the future, and it is leading up to, I mean, we haven't talked a lot about the story of Path of Exile 2 and what's going on there, but we do have an overarching plan along our franchise, and so it's important for us to drop hints and set things up correctly with Path of Exile 1 in the meantime.
I still remember years and years ago when you said you had like a plan for 10 acts and a decade worth of content and things like that. Well, still going along with that like long arcing plan then.
Stretches out another 10 years now. Yep.
Good stuff. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. So how does the Mavens, this is something I wasn't clear on from the thing, how does the Mavens kind of gameplay loop or cycle work in terms of content, how you engage with it? Does the Maven progression occur alongside the Cyrus and Watchstone progression?
Yeah, it's entirely alongside. Like, it's entirely possible to complete all the Maven stuff without yet fighting Cyrus and vice versa. Basically, after you've encountered the Maven for the first time, you can call her to witness map boss kills of yours. And so basically, when you're using the map device in an area, you click the little Maven icon to use her beacon, and then she will be present in the map for the fight.
Thank you, Space Golf.
Her presence makes it more difficult, and it means that you've basically captured a copy of that map boss, and it puts an icon next
for the
to
10,000 bits, man.
And then from time to time, you get an invitation to her realm where there's an escalating number of bosses you have to fight simultaneously, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the 10 one can be farmed. That's the one there that is a item that you can craft mods onto. And so that's the fight that you basically get to repeat with really good rewards if you're able to kill 10 bosses at once. And so there's kind of two parallel things you're doing there. You're earning the invitations to the realm,
the arena
and you're
really
also locking bosses in that she's got copies of. And this is on a per region basis. And that progression there is what dictates your passive points that you unlock on those region trees. And so there's 5 sets of 2 points that you receive for completing the 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10 boss fights, respectively. And then, of course, after completing the 10 fight, you have the opportunity to occasionally potentially challenge the Maven herself.
So much content.
Okay, I'm guessing that'll be kind of secrets to be revealed from
I'm sure people will work it out. And this is all in parallel to the existing Watchstone progression, though, of course, it's super, super endgame stuff.
Yeah, okay. And you said this in the initial reveal, it said that this kicks in around like a few tiers into the Atlas. You start capturing the bosses.
That's right.
We don't need nets for that, right?
We took nets out early in development.
Okay, good stuff. So I'm pretty excited about this idea of fighting 10 map bosses at a time. I love boss fights in general. But something interesting we learned from Metamorph and the lab fights version of the Metamorph bosses was that it's often the map mods that actually make bosses difficult, and fighting them outside of that is often a lot easier in comparison. So how will the boss fights here, these Maven boss fights, be scaled in difficulty in the actual Maven's arena?
So as you're playing through them, initially doing 3, then 4, then 5, and so on, those ones there are difficult because there's multiple bosses at the same time. But by the time you need mods in order to make them harder, that's when mods start to kick in on the invitation items that you get for the farmable 10 boss fight. So that one's craftable. And so you definitely want to pump the rewards on that one as much as you can, because that's the place where you're finding a lot of the good in-game rewards from. You're finding, chase uniques, and you're finding craftable watchstones and so on.
Okay, I have a few questions from that. Unexpected ones. You mentioned invitation items, so there's an itemized system here?
So the first invitations that you receive from the Maven to go to her realm and fight some locked-in bosses, they're quest items, basically, because there's a strict progression of 3, 4, 5, and so on. The 10 invitation, where you get to, that's the farmable one, that one there is a tradable item. And so you're bottlenecked by both having 10 bosses in the can, as it were, and also having the item with the mods that you want. And so because they're tradable, of course, it may be that you want to go and craft or trade for some that are incredibly good, or maybe you find one that's great but it's too difficult for you, so you just trade it and get chaos to spend on something
which
else.
10 bosses you're
fighting? So they have
the
bosses on them, on the item, and also mods, it sounds like?
So to be clear about that, you're locking in bosses on your Atlas at any time, and the item is entirely separate. And so you'll, of course, have the item by the time you have the bosses, because they drop at a similar rate, but it's entirely possible that you do have surplus items that you want to trade to other people. And it may be that you're going for just harder bosses, like you want to lock in 10 incredibly difficult and rewarding ones rather than 10 of the easier ones. And so, the two progressions are in parallel with each other.
Yep. Okay. And does the bosses you choose have an impact beyond just difficulty?
I don't actually know the answer to that. Does anyone who's watching over here want to clarify? Yeah, it's just the difficulty. And of course, people will have strategic reasons to fight certain ones.
Right, yeah.
I certainly know from last time I was playing high-tier maps, there are bosses I do not want to be fighting simultaneously, so I would not pick those.
Can you put like multiple of the same boss in, like 10 Katavas or something?
Or they have to be different? I mean, okay. The engine supports it. Don't get me wrong. This is a potential for the future, but you're fighting unique ones, I believe.
That is kind of a shame. Would be funny.
This it's actually the first thing I thought when I saw it was it reminded me of those videos you put out of like bosses fighting each other. Is it kind of inspired by that or something?
Well, it's interesting because when we initially designed all the map boss fights, we made them work in their respective arenas, right? There's various triggers and distances and all that kind of stuff. And we have put so much work into making it so that bosses can work anywhere, so that you could just drop a Katava on the coast, essentially. For this and other things, the ability to have map bosses just occur in any place
pretty much gives
us a lot of extra content in the game. And so that's being tried out in the Maven's arena here. And it's funny, honestly, so much of the work on the expansion was genericizing the map boss fights without making the fights any less awesome.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, I imagine it was difficult to get things like Katava and stuff that were very locked in place, working in different arenas. I'm afraid that we're going to see things like Katava starts dragging himself around by the arms or something like that, terrifying like that.
Mate, it's going to be trash for HC. Every new league, every new content is trash for HC. Stop playing HC.
Like Atlas,
that's what I think.
It seems like a pretty substantial step up in complexity with craftable watchstones and the Atlas passive trees, which look pretty insane, alongside the current watchstone progression systems, which a lot of people feel are already. It's a pretty complex system for a lot of people, I think. How do you think the average or newer players are going to handle? How do they handle the current Atlas, firstly, and how do you think they'll handle this?
It's pretty endgame, and that means you have a pretty good understanding by the time you get to it. It's also introduced at a rate that's relatively manageable. You get it in pieces, and it's kind of optional as well. Like putting watchstones in, sure, it's complicated if you want to roll the best ones, but you're unlocking these over quite a period of time. Like they are valuable, they are end-game rewards. You do need to get them one at a time, and you have control over what the mods are. And so it doesn't really matter if you make mistakes there, because it's just going to mean you get worse rewards for your content. And so we don't think it's going to hamper anyone's enjoyment of the game if they're not maximizing the system.
For them to keep people playing longer than a month, for example? Trying to get your watch stones up and
as
running.
you know, with a free-to-play game, many players who play
rolling
it
them
don't
really
get
well,
through to
and
mid-tier
once you
maps,
started
and we're okay
farming
with that.
super fucking hard, you're like,
a lot of stuff here
well,
that
now
they
what
can
to
play.
capitalize on it.
Right, I gotcha. Yeah, unlike regular watchstones, it doesn't stop you from progressing so much as just give you extra reward engaging with the system well. So it seems like there's actually quite a lot of extra reward here. The passive trees
New
in
favorite league
collaboration
for a
with these
cute
new
dog,
craftable
then.
watchstones. From what I saw of those passive trees, there's a lot of stuff like guaranteeing generals and legions and stuff like that that are juicing up the rewards quite a bit. How much more rewarding do you feel the Atlas is going to be? And I guess you guys are comfortable with how much extra we're going to be getting?
Well, part of it is that for a while, players have complained. A word they often use disparagingly is clutter, that the end game has a lot of alternate systems that you can choose between. And while we philosophically believe that it's great for there to be a choice of content for people to play, and they should play whatever content they enjoy the most and are best at, we want to allow them to double down on content. We want them to be able to say, I like this, I want to see it more often, and I want to see it be more rewarding. And that way, you customize what you want to be playing, and then you play that, and you get good rewards for it. And that enables you to trade those rewards to people who did other stuff. So, for example, if you just hate incursion, you never want to touch a temple in your life, but you want double corrupted items, you just do heist or harvest or whatever it is that you enjoy a lot, and trade those items for the double corrupted ones. And so both the watchstones and the Atlas passives here allow you to influence content that you're encountering, make it more rewarding, and basically specialize, while still making sure that there's a broad base of Path of Exile content for you to experience if you do want to try something new.
I have always really liked the idea of us being able to really specialize in certain pieces of content. And we've seen, I think, a progression towards more and more of that, which is pretty interesting to see. It almost seems like a step towards giving us the ability to choose which of these things, like you mentioned, people saying that there's a bit too much clutter. There's like the option to effectively choose now which ones you actually care about.
We've certainly discussed ideas of reducing the base rate and having this stuff amp it up. And, you know, that's a change we might even see before release, potentially, depending on how balancing goes. But we do want content to be available that you encounter occasionally. Even if you've chosen to specialize in other things, it's nice to occasionally run into it, to have an opportunity to try it. That's the only way a player is going to work out that they actually can do that content and that they do like it. And so, you know, there's plenty of time in the future to tweak this in future expansions, but it's likely that we are not just going to turn content outright off and hide it away.
It's almost like they're little demos to tempt you into maybe trying to specialize in those and see how you go. It's like, oh, I keep seeing these Legion things. I wonder what it'd be like if I specialize in those.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay. How hard is it to respect these Atlas passive trees? Are they something we're adjusting really often or leaving intact most of the time?
15 Gen beta
So there is a
confirmed.
currency that lets you refund it, and that currency, of course, has a value. I mean, how long is a piece of string, right? Like, you're not going to be able to do this super easily, but wealthy endgame players can absolutely, you know, respec as much as they need to. It's just going to cost them.
Ziggy just gave away his dick
for that. Now, there are strategies, of course, where you may want to respec these aggressively. You might work out that the best way of getting currency is to actively manage what Atlas passives you've chosen. And to do so, of course, that's going to burn a bunch of currency achieving that. And players will work out the right amount to do that's still profitable for themselves.
You know?
Yeah, I imagine this is like something when people are doing the like fully juiced content where they're stacking sextants and everything else to get specific content. That might be something they adjust to synergize with those things once they like get the stars to align for.
Exactly. And honestly, because this, like most things in Path of Exile, is a market-driven thing, it means that if there's little need to respec, then the respec orbs will inevitably be very cheap, and that means you can respec easily and there's no problem. And if it's just insanely profitable to respec dynamically, then people will do that and it will make it expensive, and we'll just have to have a look at the effects of this and rebalance it later on if needed.
Okay, so the reveal kind of slipped something in there that people might have missed. You mentioned that the Maven is the first. So is this planned as an expandable system with more people like the Maven, more
So
creatures like the Maven?
The Eldritch entities that have noticed that the Elder is missing. Maybe we'll see more in future expansions. Who knows? I mean, you know, we've got many decades of lifespan left to spend on this project, so we have to come up with some more entities at some
decades of lifespan.
I'm a sucker for things like that where you're like
what, mate?
hinting at the fact that there's like an expanded kind of lore universe here that's going to draw from. I thought I'd ask. I figured it would be a maybe answer though.
I think I'm going to be streaming PoE at
let's move on to
69
ritual.
years old.
So the ritual sites, it says that we pull monsters to them or that we kill monsters in the area. Are we intended to pull monsters to these ritual sites, and do we pull bosses to them?
Right, so you definitely don't need to and should not pull a
Definitely gonna
monster
have
to
to
the
give up
site. And we did this on
cosplaying at some
purpose,
point,
because if
though.
it counts the monsters that are nearby, and if there was a benefit for pulling monsters there, then the correct behavior is to grab half the map and drag it to a ritual, and that's not fun. So the way it works is when a ritual spawns, it's near some monsters organically because it's biased towards monsters, and it has a bunch of extra monsters on it. And so those monsters that are near it, you do have to clear before you start the ritual, but there's no need to pull extra monsters in. It literally does nothing. So you clear the ritual by killing all the monsters nearby, and it'll be a decent fight. And then you tag the ritual altar, and that resummons all the monsters in a staggered formation as you're fighting against the effects of the altar. And we didn't make it super clear in the video, but there are lots of different types of altars with lots of like arena-based combat that you get to do there. It's not really like an Ariel mission where it's slow-paced. This is something that's really throwing monsters in your face. It's meant to be a fast-paced, bite-sized combat encounter. And then each of the subsequent ones that you do has all those monsters and more. And so because they ramp up in difficulty and reward, we totally expect weaker players to like call it and not do the last rituals in the area if it's just getting too hard for them. And so it's meant to be a thing where you do as many as you feel you can handle, which I get it for most people that have, made an effort to watch this stream probably means all of them because they're good at the game. But you never know, it might get pretty hard for you.
Oh, Chris.
And just trying to flatter the crowd.
Yeah, no shit.
You're also it is true that the top 10% of players are the ones that are watching right now. They're making an effort to learn about the game.
Fair. So
we have
there's a bunch of items in
a
this
million
store
players.
once
What are you saying?
like finish the ritual that you can purchase using as ritual points.
I don't know.
Do the rares in there use the new high quality rare generation system that we saw a taster of in Heist?
Some of them do. There are basically different categories of things that can appear in the favor rewards. Favors are what we're calling the items you buy with tribute. And so some of them are templates that generate high quality rares where it biases the mods, and some of them are not. It really depends what we're trying to achieve with that particular slot. And we've tried to have a lot of variety in there. So yeah, occasionally you'll find exceptionally good stuff, and occasionally you'll find stuff that's there for another reason, potentially because it's got like let's say it's got influence on it. It probably doesn't need to have insanely good mods at the same time, because what we're trying to achieve there is giving you an influence rare rather than particularly good rare.
Okay, so we'll kind of notice like themes for the items that they're like built around then.
Absolutely, yeah.
When you complete a ritual, there's this ritual item store, and it like reveals a bunch of items for the first ritual of that map, and there's multiple rituals per map. Do the later rituals in the same map add more items to that same stock, or are they a new stock of items each time?
So the way it works is that the items are in the first window and some of them are hidden. So those ones, if you check back at the footage, have like a little icon over them. It's shrouded. It was initially the present wrapping thing that we use occasionally and stuff, but that looked real weird for it to be a bunch of birthday presents basically in the window. So the unrevealed items are there, and the reason why is so that you don't just cycle doing the first ritual in each area repeatedly until you find one with good rewards. The incentive is that you actually play through the rituals to get to the more advanced items, and the ones that are hidden from you are the more expensive ones, the ones that cost more tribute. Now, obviously, the best strategy is probably to do all the rituals first before deciding what to buy. That's fully intentional, right? It's not gaming the system to save your money until you can make a fully informed choice. But the reason that we show them early is because there's no reason not to allow people to go shopping with their tribute if they do see something they like. Like if you're looking for a Chaos Orb and you can afford a Chaos Orb after a couple of rituals, just buy it if you want it. I mean, you could wait a little bit longer if it doesn't hurt to wait longer, but you can make purchases early on if you choose to.
Making it so that we don't like cycle the first thing in a map and jump straight into a new map, and making it so that we can like defer items for purchase later. I feel like you're learning from our behaviors and complaints.
Yes.
Thanks. It's good. Yes. So does any of the like unique ritual loot or any of the like ritual-ish loot, such as new bases or uniques, drop from monsters during the rituals as well, or are all the new things purchasable from this favor store?
They're all purchasable from the favor store. So the new rewards do not drop from the actual monsters while you're fighting it. And we did that because we wanted the player to have to make a informed decision to pick that item, a chance for them to be presented with it and decide it versus other tempting things at the same time, to have a bit more gravitas there.
Okay, so I'm curious about these ritual vessels then. So they capture monsters from a ritual site to use in later maps. Is this instead of doing the ritual, or like an after thing after you finish the ritual?
It's an after thing. So you do a ritual, and if you think, man, that was a lot of monsters, somehow I got like a boss in there, I kind of feel there's a lot of tribute, let's capture it. And then you capture it after it. So you still got all the benefits of killing the monsters, all the tribute you get your reward from that, and then you have a chance of capturing that so that you can use it to juice a map up later.
I imagine the ritual favor points based on the monsters you kill. So just having a boss in there give you a lot more or something?
Absolutely, yeah. You'll get an idea for what just gave you a lot of favor, and that's when you stick it in a bottle and use that to juice up a map later. And it's one of those things where not only do the ritual vessels give you a bunch of favor by using them on a map, but it also just makes better rewards spawn. And so you'll get a totally juiced map. You'll chuck, Beyond and Delirium on it, throw as many of these vessels as you can in there, and just have an absolutely insane time, and then get a boatload of tribute, and really hope that you have good rewards in the window, and they will be better than average by that point. So, I'm not guaranteeing you'll see a hit under then. I'm sure many people won't do. In fact, most people won't do. But you never know.
I instantly saw the potential here for like some sort of infinite loops. I'm wondering if you've counteracted that. The ritual vessels apply the captured monsters to all ritual sites in a new map. If you use a ritual vessel on the new map that is already enhanced, do you capture more and then can take that to the next map and then add infinitum?
We thought of that one. You can only use ritual vessels if you haven't used any on the map that you're playing. So it has to be on a vanilla ritual site.
Okay, so it's kind of like a one-on-one off sort of deal.
Yeah, which honestly isn't a problem. Sense. It'll be totally fine.
I really like the lead concept.
Okay.
I think it's going to be clean, of everything. Fast, rewarding.
That's one of the advantages of having the extra month, right? Like our goal was to release this in December, and we've taken extra time to actually, QA stuff as thoroughly as we can do, and to think of these things and put time into balancing it and making it good and making a good announcement stream, and it's been really helpful.
Yeah. You had an extra month or two, roughly.
Yeah, 1 month, of extra time. And sure, I mean, there's still things being tweaked, right? Like, people were away over, Christmas and New Year during that time, and not everything was finished at exactly the point we wanted to a month ago, but it's certainly very smooth sailing through that period while we're working on 3.14 at the same time as putting finishing touches and testing on 3.13. Like, I believe that we have a 99% functional alpha build being deployed today for the alpha testers to start giving us a week of feedback on. And I know it sounds crazy for us to be making a big deal about alpha testers having a week to test it, but normally we're like, we're launching tomorrow. It's not done. The league's turned off. The bosses are turned off. Go. And there's nothing to test apart from does it crash. But now we actually have every single thing is there kind of situation for alpha. Though it's worth noting while I'm talking about alpha, because there's various competitions and that kind of stuff being arranged for league launch, and obviously alpha testers would have an advantage. One of the rules that we're putting in place is if you've played on alpha for a given expansion, you're not eligible to receive prizes. And so that's a big decision that alpha testers are going to have to make, where if they're actually like a top tier streamer who wants to compete, they probably shouldn't be signing up for the thing that gets them a competitive advantage.
Absolutely.
So if you've had a chance to pre-play the content, you won't be able to win prizes. You can still compete, but people will know you're an alpha tester and you don't actually get anything for winning. And so that's our attempt at making sure that with a properly functional alpha testing program, we have a degree of fairness in there.
That's really like surprising and awesome to hear. Like, because I feel like this has always been like a little thing in the background that's never really been fully acknowledged. That's really awesome to hear.
And I want to emphasize, because I can already see my email box blowing up. Please do not email me or other staff members asking for alpha access. It doesn't work that way. Like, we literally have a policy of if you ask, you're not getting it, kind of, right? So we have ways of selecting people.
Hook me up,
as
Chris.
The program continues to function better, we will add more people, but we'll do it in a fair way that gives people a chance to apply, or we'll select them based on their merits. And the best way to become an alpha tester is provide consistent bug report feedback on the main site. We invite people by looking at who is just giving us great feedback and putting time in. Alpha testing is not a prestige thing. It's something which is almost like an unpaid job, And thank you to the alpha testers for their feedback and unpaid work there.
Good stuff.
Unpaid work.
Just a couple more questions before we move on to some questions from the chat. With the rework to the harvest system, removing the gardening side of things, how will the Ashabi quest and fight happen, or has she retired?
So you'll randomly encounter Ashabi relatively rarely. So you'll stumble in there expecting to get choices of crafting options, and there's the tree ready to go with the Ashabi fight.
Ah, okay, so it's just kind of a random spawn thing now.
Frequently, yes.
I don't know if I like that too much.
In Heist,
you just pop in with a shit character and be like, uh-oh, I'm fucked.
Gotcha. So to Heist now, the meta for getting the most value out of the system really became centered around the duplication of extremely valuable blueprints and running them infinitely for massive amounts of currency. Is anything happening that will affect this?
So I want to clarify that when Ziggy says duplication, he means through legitimate game mechanics. There are a couple of ways of copying the blueprints. And so, this is not an exploit-filled game if anyone is watching and worried about that. But yeah, no, it's totally fine. There are mechanics that let you split the blueprints, where the problem with that wasn't so much that the base blueprint was a good one that was being split, because there was a cost to splitting it. It was the fact you could fully reveal every single aspect of it, and then that would just carry on to the copied copy. And so the first change we're making here is that the split copies do not have any reveals. They're basically a like the rewards are the same, but they're entirely unrevealed again. And so you can continue exactly the same strategy if you have enough reveals for every single copy and enough markers to achieve that. And that's quite a big cost. That makes it significantly less economically insane to do it. But it still makes it good to do it. Like, it still means that if you put the effort into finding the perfect blueprint, having the master copy, going and putting effort into getting the ingredients you need to be able to split it, like the fossils or the beasts and stuff, you can still profit from this. But it's not quite as crazy. In addition, there's significant rebalance that went into the rewards, especially around those top tier blueprints. So the currency one is less insane, for example, and we're pretty happy with where this is. And when the community finds something awesome and profitable like that, we don't want to just turn it off. You know, we want to find a place where it now has a good, good location in the game to exist. And so we're more happy with this from a balance point of view. We think that it will still be potentially a good strategy for some players to do, but it won't be a ridiculous strategy that creates a lot of feel bads for the rest of the community.
All right, good stuff. We have some questions from chat now. Thank you all for submitting your questions. First one comes in from Notcakes. Will Atlas passive trees be tied to certain regions? So will Beyond, for example, only be available on the Lex Proxima region and no other?
I believe so. I'm just going to double check this with my guys. That's true, right?
Most mechanics appear on
with the boys.
Yeah, so most mechanics appear on a few regions, but yes, it is true that if you want to do Beyond on, say, Glennet Cairns or whatever, if it's not there, then you do not have the ability to specialize Beyond in that region. And so the experiment we're trying here is allowing people to specialize on certain areas of the Atlas. It's not a global thing where you're just juicing your entire Atlas at once. You will have to find maps in that region. Of course, this can change over time. Give us feedback as you play. We think it's actually quite fun this way. It's certainly a more advanced way of doing it than what we could have done at face value, but we try to do it the interesting way rather than just say broadly a whole Atlas is juiced.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for things not being fully homogenized, not all being the same. Provides like interesting strategies and stuff that comes out of that. So it's good to see that. I imagine this also gives you another like lever that you can change in the future to shake up the Atlas. Instead of just moving maps around, you can move what regions have what things, which could unlock new strategies.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how it pans out based on people's actual activity when they play it.
All right. Arta Eva asks, as this league is boss driven, will there be any rebalance of XP or drops for boss encounters, as it will take way more time for such encounters, like the enhanced bosses, for example?
Already only thinking
we haven't
about
put any work into changing the experience and drops for those bosses, though we are careful to make sure that they're in a good place. You know, we if we saw any problems, we would fix it, but we haven't deemed there to be any issues there. Yeah, the team don't think it's going to take a lot longer. Most people get their boss fights done relatively quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Vice versa, 951 asks, can the Maven witness unique map bosses? If so, can there boss-specific loot drop in the boss rush?
No, you can't witness unique map bosses. That's something we certainly discussed and tried to achieve, but there are significant logistical issues on that one, so that's a thing for later.
Yeah, I imagine there'd be some pretty insane ones. Like some of those bosses have immunity during certain periods and stuff. We have to move them around the map and stuff. So yeah. Notcake's got two questions. Will Atlas passive trees be tied to certain regions? So, wait, that is a repeated question. Oops, never mind. Casually Stone.
Get this guy out of here.
What order of rarity are we talking about with the new influence Maven Orb? Something like Influence Exalt? Mirrors?
They're estimating around the Awakener's Orb level. You know, we certainly want it to be pretty punchy.
Makes sense since it's, I imagine, a drop from her fight.
That's a good assumption to make.
And that's
what a very clever non-answer there, Chris.
Yeah, oh no, it's only sense, but as an Act 1.
Okay. Sylphia asks, do we get skill points for each of the 8 Atlas skill trees, or do we just get 2 points and have to choose which tree to allocate in?
It's all on a per region basis. So you can completely max out a single region potentially before you touch the other ones if you choose to. And so to specifically answer the question, as you do the multi-boss fights in a given region, you get points for that particular region's trees.
Attacking my own question on there, roughly where does this line up? Is this like Awaken at 8, we're likely to have all the skill points unlocked, or is it significantly longer than that in terms of a tail of content?
How do you guys feel about that?
All of them in all regions is probably Awaken at 8, but to get all points in one region could be.
Okay, yeah, so they clarify that Awaken at 8 is about a good estimate for all regions, all trees, but to get all the points in a single region could be a fair while before that.
Okay, so that's like a longer tail thing.
Similar to the watchstone
on,
system.
like unlocking. It's like you're settling into unlock your longer term strategies kind of thing.
Yeah, and it honestly depends on what you're prioritizing, right? Like you're going to prioritize the regions with things you want to be playing, and so you'll probably get those significantly further ahead than the ones where you're just doing it because you might occasionally play a map in that region and you don't really care about those mechanics.
Right. Same old asks, oh, a rather interesting question. Can you drop craftable watchstones before you get all the normal watchstones, thus amplifying your progression or speeding it up?
The craftable ones are super end game rewards. Can you guys clarify? Yeah, you technically can. I mean, you may not have all of your 32 watchstones by the time that you start to get craftable ones. But yeah, the craftable ones are meant to be mostly coming after the normal ones.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and you can also trade for them, right? Like you could earn a bunch of currency doing something else and then fill up your atlas that way if that you feel is the best plan.
All right. Zen21 asks, does the tier of the map bosses affect the captured boss, like how watchstones alter tiers of maps in Retches? This in reference to Ritual. In Ritual.
What?
I'm failing to parse this question mentally.
So if you capture a boss and mobs in like tier 10, does that affect, if you apply it to like a tier 5 map, does that make them really dangerous, or does it scale to the map that you apply it to, I guess?
Good question.
Inherits the area level of the map.
Right. It inherits the area level of the map that you captured it in.
Oh, okay. So pay attention to that then, if you like trade for them.
Yeah.
With respect to the Maven.
Yes. So that's with respect. Right. So with respect to Ritual, it inherits the level of the one you captured. And with regard to the Maven, it has a fixed level per encounter.
Okay, gotcha.
So you're saying that the 3, 4, 5, and so on are at fixed? Yeah, okay.
So tier 1 is tier 16 equivalent.
Yeah. So when you're fighting 10 bosses at the same time, they're going to be tier 16 equivalently scaled ones, regardless of whether it was a low tier map that you captured it in.
What?
Oh, and
high tier maps.
Yeah, you have to capture them in high tier maps in that case.
Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing the number of border cases that I don't get exposed to when working on this, that the guys who are physically setting them actually understand.
Yeah, I'll mention if you guys have like pretty technical questions, a lot of that stuff is really often answered in the kind of FAQ that's released a little bit closer to launch as well.
Yeah, Bex is looking into how much community confusion there is and will release an FAQ if necessary. It's partly that we're hoping that this Q&A helps solve most of the stuff because it's a good opportunity to clarify things and explain it in plain English and so on. But, there'll probably be fine details we need to clarify afterwards.
I thought this was a good idea just because my first feeling after watching the video that I was just like super overwhelmed and it was hard to like process everything just because of the sheer amount of info in that like 30-minute reveal. So it was a pretty good idea for that. Hopefully people are kind of like settling into it.
Should we have slowed it down and spread it out over an hour and just be chill about it as we go? Or is it good to have that pace of content?
I think it's great for people to be like overwhelmed and freaking out and their heads exploding. They have like a week to get used to it all and figure it all out on Reddit and everything. So
we didn't want to waste people's time and there was a lot to cover, so we just got right into it.
Yeah, totally. And we have, this downtime and then Bayclast afterwards to, unwind a little bit and process. So that's good. Snoozius asks, who gets the choice/drop in Ritual when multiplayer game, when playing with friends?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is one of the leagues where it's the instance owner who gets to choose the rewards, and so you do not all get your own tribute. You do have to work out what you're getting as a group and to share it, and it's usually based on implementation detail that we decide that. We ideally want rewards to be shared across the group where possible, but if it doesn't make sense for how we're actually structuring the league, then sometimes that's the outcome. And when doing it, we just make sure that there are enough rewards for playing as a group and you get the ability to share it out as you choose. If your group are bad at sharing, I would encourage you to take turns opening the maps so you each get the chance to be bad at sharing with your friends.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
True, though. Clemmy Clem asks, will there be sextant mods that affect the amount of ritual points you get whenever ritual mechanic spawns in the map?
They spawn.
Yeah. If the sextants spawn packs and the packs spawn within the ritual site, then it absolutely does affect it. In terms of actually adding mods to sextants that affect rituals directly, that's something we would do if ritual goes core later, potentially. We have not confirmed or decided, have no idea whether it's going core. It depends a lot on what people say. They like it, don't like it,
It's significant to know that just enhancing the map, effectively you will add extra packs to the ritual site as well, and that it's not fully isolated.
Yeah.
It's Parsalien asks, are there always 3 rituals per zone, or does the number of rituals per zone increase as you progress through the story, or does it change in other ways? I'll add on.
My understanding is it does get larger. Let me just clarify with the guys.
Scales very slightly.
Yeah, so it does scale very slightly. So the range of number of rituals you can get does get higher as you get into higher tier areas.
All right. Decent question.
We do want it to stay simple at the beginning of the storyline, so you're not having to do like 6 ritual fights on the coast or something. But by the time you're handling red tier maps, I'm sure you're getting quite a lot.
It reminds me of like a cross between like shrines and a beyond, a breach kind of encounter. So having like 3 or something seems like a lot of extra monsters per zone. What is the range here? Is it like 3 to 6, 3 to 5,
What's
1
the
to
cap?
3?
Okay, like 4 is the cap, right? Yeah, 4 is the cap. Currently, this is the kind of thing we're iterating on while doing our testing. You never know; the alpha testers might have feedback. You'll probably find that 4 is a reasonable number when you try it out.
That sounds like plenty.
All right, that does seem like a lot. Berkjam asks, are there going to be stash tabs for Heist, Harvest, and Ritual?
We do not have any new stash tabs at the moment. I don't think Ritual needs to have a
He's
stash
thinking about this one
tab.
carefully.
I mean, you get some vessels, but they're real rare, and you kind of use them as you get them.
Doesn't want to get a
one item
fucking
doesn't really
clip
warrant a
taken
tab
and
for
then
them.
get
I mean, we've been
rolled
pretty
by the
clear about our
community.
policy for tabs now, where we've explained that if there's mandatory progression items, we'll provide free storage for them, and if there's optional reward style stuff that you would normally just store in regular tabs, then we may provide purchasable specialized storage for that for people that want it. And we're trying to find a sweet spot here where tabs aren't mandatory, but at the same time we can still fund development of the game.
I think we have a question from Amy here. What are your thoughts on support characters, for example, Autobots and stuff like that? And how would you like to move forward?
Crush them
in the future.
Well, I think it's really important that players have a lot of different ways of playing, and it's even interesting to see within our team how many people like playing support characters, including very, very senior members of the team, Mark. So we definitely want to make sure it's fully supported, and I think that because the person who has the title of game director on Path of Exile plays support characters, you're probably likely to see stuff in the future. What he's planning, I honestly don't know. That's above my pay grade.
I feel like they are generally insanely strong, and it's just like not that many people get into them for it to be a big problem. Whereas if like half the player base was playing support characters, it would be something you'd have to tone down.
Matt clarifies there's no bias whatsoever, but
oh, yeah.
Philosophically, I see Path of Exile as a game with many, many ways to play. If you want to sit and trade with people, just sit there flipping currency. That's a valid way to play. It generates currency. If you want to sit there working out the perfect heist, if you want to sit there, taking advantage of the new League content and trying to be the first person to work out how to get the best rewards, that is a valid way to play the game. And playing an aura character that doesn't kill monsters directly, also a great way to play the game. And I think that providing more avenues beyond just killing monsters helps with action RPGs quite a lot, because there are 1,000 ways to kill monsters already. It's good to add a few hundred other ways to play too.
Great
Yeah,
stuff.
that's fine.
Stale
It's still
Humor
too
asks,
strong,
what is your
dude.
favorite skill gem change? What skill gem are you looking forward to using?
Doesn't mean
and
they
seeing
can't
used
be
by the
fucking,
community?
tampered with.
Blankness when I realize I haven't actually gone through the patch notes yet myself.
Fair.
Mark and Andrew, do you have any favorite skill gem changes that you're aware of in this particular patch? Okay, what happened with Scorching Ray?
Cast time got half.
Cast time got halved. Okay, so there's some excitement about Scorching Ray. They had a mandate basically, and not these particular developers, but the designers working on the skills had a mandate basically of, buff as many skills in impactful ways as possible. And I think there are 40 existing ones, which is kind of an understated part of this expansion. There could have been a lot more attention put on that, but the goal is basically that no one knows what's best to play now. There's 19 sets of ascendancy changes, 40 skills buffed. It should mix the meta up a lot more than most normal expansion releases do, and hopefully for a decent amount of time. Like, I don't think this one will be solved quite so quickly.
All right. World Creator asks, bearing in mind we're going to have a huge Ascendancy rework, what about the Scion? What are your thoughts on Scion in general?
The Scion has been reworked as part of the expansion. So basically all 19 Ascendancy classes got attention, where we sat there and said, what are we doing with this tree? How are we changing it? 3 of them had quite large implementation-based sets of changes. The Inquisitor, Elementalist, and Deadeye actually had some serious amount of work, but the other ones at least had us going through and reviewing each thing and changing stuff. And so the amount varies from class to class, but we made sure the Scion was included. I personally am generally relatively happy with her place, and this is partly because if we make her too powerful, she jumps right ahead quite quickly, and so it's in a pretty good place, but we don't want her to lag behind.
Good. What do you mean Raider on Suicide
Yard
Watch?
Extreme
Is this
wants
gonna get...
to know if you're going to implement the trade website as an in-game thing.
No, of course
I
not.
don't see harm in doing this, and I kind of do think that it would be a positive thing to have the ability to embed a browser in the game so that you can directly link stuff, you can click on people's names to automatically whisper them. It's not at all against our philosophy with trade, right? Like, we're not against making things easier from a convenience point of view. It's more about, the fundamentals of how trade works that we have a bit of philosophical views on. Having said that, there are interesting issues with getting it working in game to do with embedding browsers and the right middleware for that and various issues, and we just haven't got to that yet.
Yeah, it's not happening.
It's fascinating how complicated development gets when you're targeting multiple platforms and consoles. And
yeah, as far as Raider is concerned, it's already pretty good. Like, it's very playable. And with some buffs and alterations, I imagine it's going to be plenty fucking amazing.
It just requires a bit of work to get that kind of stuff going, and in the meantime, people can alt-tab.
All right, good stuff.
Command key tab or whatever.
Is there any thing you really want to point out to people, like your favorite thing from the announcement? Since you probably combed over this a few times now.
The
Anything
trailer
that really stood out. You really want to mention to people? What's your favorite?
It's actually pretty difficult to pick what the favorite is here, because the League itself was one of the best combat focused ones we've done for a while. It's just a pure risk versus reward kind of thing. The player chooses how deep they want to go with the rituals, and in the end game they can choose how deep they want to stack the amount of monsters. And the tribute is literally costing on various items from throughout Path of Exile's history and some new ones. And the deferral system makes some very, very interesting choices there, because you'll see really expensive stuff, and putting it on lay-by over time kind of makes it cost more over time, but you do actually get to afford it even if you can't today. And so that will be an interesting experiment. So the League itself obviously wants a big expansion to go with it, but is probably going to be one of the more, condensed fun ones that we've done for quite some time. Very true Path of Exile. The expansion just adds so much to the end game, and honestly, my amount of late end game Path of Exile play recently has been relatively low, so I don't even understand the depth of the expansion. Every time we're discussing it in the team, I realize that it's way more than I thought it was, and that's going to be exciting.
He's a filthy
I'm expecting
casual.
that to have quite a long impact on the end game for some time. And then one thing I wanted to really make sure with this expansion was that the amount of metagame mix-up, as we were just talking, was quite high. We really didn't want it to be that there's a league and there's an expansion, but you're playing the same build you were playing last league. And so I think that the unsung hero of it is going to be the fact that there's a lot of new viable builds and craziness that's going to be happening there.
Yep.
Awesome stuff. Also, you made golems respawn. Just wanted to point that out. That's awesome.
Yep. And there are a lot of ascendancies and a lot of region trees and a lot of other stuff that we get to reveal over the next week.
Fantastic stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for the Q&A, Chris. We're going to take a short break here on the live stream and then head on over to Bay Class to unpack a little bit.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you very much.
Mate, just fucking stab me with a knife, why don't you? He's all like, oh, things that people might not have noticed or been so excited about is the, actually really big, fucking 40 new skills or revamps and stuff. And I'm all like, come on. Every single time I get new skills and revamps and stuff, that is the biggest, hottest content of the league for me, and I know it's huge. And I know that that is huge, and I said it was huge. Just pretend like I don't exist, mate. I dyed my hair for this? No. It's just yellow hairspray. Yeah, this will keep us busy for quite a fucking while, chat. Scars are coming off? Yeah, they are. TLDR, the TLDR is you are very excited. There is a lot of content coming. Expansion, League, Gems, Ascendancies, Blood Guts Ass. Just big. You are excited. And you can't wait to watch Mathil1 on launch day and make him the most powerful streamer on the website. That's the TLDR. Yep. Bay Class podcast coming up. One thing I realized during the Q&A, I am just not... I don't know. Is the word passionate enough about this? I'm passionate about Path of Exile, but I don't want to, like, ask sextant questions about a thing I just then watched, you know? That makes sense? Like, I got the cool trailer, I got the reveals, and I'm all like, yay, game, I want to play. And then there's like, but yes, how does it interact with the sextant of the map if you put it into the higher level of the lower tier? And it's just like, fuck, dude. How is that even something everyone's fucking asking and thinking about right now? Just don't you want to start playing? And you know what I mean? Why do you need to know everything about everything beforehand instead of just go, cool, yep, we'll be there. See you in a week. New MTX, Pepega credit. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really want to sit here and react to a Bay class the entire time when they're gonna do that, talk about just back and forth stuff. Not my style. React content. Seems a bit weird. Deadly Renegade? The Faith Sworn? And the Elite Faith Sworn. I think this set looks really cool. Have a look at it. Deadly Renegade. That actually sits okay.
Today we're just going to be reacting to everything that happened. But before we do that, I'd like to give a huge shout out to the community team who've been managing all this stream stuff on their end. And also, if anything goes wrong, blame GGG.
Oh, there's not even Chris or anything? Yeah, I'm not going to be reacting to 5 dudes talking. You guys can watch Bay Class if you want to watch Bay Class. It's 5 other streamers doing fucking streamer stuff. It's not me reacting to comments of those streamers. No, that's not me. What was I saying? Yeah, the Marauder one looks actually okay. I don't know about the whole set though. God, that looks so scuffed on a Scion. I have to say it. Okay. I think this one's gonna look really nice. Oh, fuck yeah. I'd Pepega credit that. Model's kind of whatever. It's nice. It's small. Cool. That's actually, that was a duelist? That looked smaller than usual. I thought that was like a shadow or some shit. I like the helm, man. It looks very Hellgate London to me. And I loved Hellgate London personally. Oh wow. That looks fucking clean from the back as well. Check that out. Update is missing 1 gear from about What update? What gear? Who gives a shit? That's a good one. Vega credit? Pressing the buy button. Let's see if it works. Added support. Oh, that's from yesterday's thing, right? Yeah, I suppose I gotta get both either way. Test it out for you. Launch. What do we got? A week to go. 8 days. 8 days. I can tell you how I got the scars and stuff, sure. Check out exclamation Joker if you want to watch the actual clip of me like walking in and shit. You'll see the proper cosplay and all that. If you missed out on the start, because, you know, I've got a whole actual outfit going. But yeah, this is what I look like nowadays. Echoes of the Atlas. January 15th, 7 days, 22 hours. That's me. I'll be there. Echoes of the Atlas actual website stuff. Alright, I'll have a look at that in a sec. This thing, right? With all the proper bullshit. Yeah. 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 What? Yep. Yeah. Alright, we'll look at that in a sec. Let me just have a look at this thing real quick. Real quick? Yeah. What's it called? I don't fucking know. Go looking. Go hunting. Harvest core, blah blah blah. Wait, did I miss it? How's it actually called? Oh, there it is. Elite Faith Swan. Damn, that is a nice armor. Even on a door. Told you, man. Elite Faith Swan. Boots. Oh, you get a character effect for it too. Cool. Oh, actual Templar. Man, that thing is sick. Yeah, that helm. I'm loving that helm. When console releases? Do I look like I'd know when the console releases? Yep. Yep. Okay. Got one. Renegade. That's actually not bad. On a Templar. It sits kind of well. It might be just this thing that's like... Yeah. More or less that thing. There's just so much clutter going on with the back attachment that it kind of overwhelms. It actually looks pretty good in game. That's on a Templar as well. Looks pretty solid. Not bad at all. Alright. So look at this. You want to see the free wings? Sure. Where are they? Hopefully we actually have them and it worked. Don't know if it did. Maybe I have to go through the website or something? Still? I did claim. Did say I claimed. I don't see them though. Relog worked for you? You want me to relog? But I just logged in. Haven't distributed them yet? $517 messages. No, they're just purchases. You got yours? So it did work for you? I do believe I don't have them right now. Left side top. Do you guys... What? I don't think you guys know what you're looking at. Like, those are fire wings. Those are demonic wings. You silly geese. Yeah. Not there. It's claimed, chat. It's already claimed. It's just gonna be... It's probably just gonna take a while to fucking pop in. Either way, it's whatever. Oh, look at this. Okay. Let me zoom in a bit. Gain even more control over your endgame path of exile, blah 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 blah. Alongside you will perform dangerous. Yep. The Maven. Looks pretty cool. When the Elder was sealed, entities far beyond the borders of the Atlas of Worlds took note and turned their attention in our direction. The first such visitor is an entity called the Maven. She is hungry to witness your fight for survival against the Atlas's most dangerous foes. Accept her challenge to put your talents and mortality to the test. Should you prove worthy, she will offer you a taste of her vast power. Yep. Prove your mettle. By slaying 3 map bosses in the Maven's presence, you'll earn an invitation to her realm, which she will request that you defeat these bosses simultaneously. Having demonstrated your strength, she challenges you to defeat 4 bosses, then 5, and then 6, and finally 10 at the same time. Only then can take on the new pinnacle boss of the Atlas, the Maven herself. Yeah, does anyone get the feeling that this fight is going to be fucking insane? Like, the 10 are, you know, like tier 16 level, and then this is the new thing that's like Elder Shaper-ish type thing, and it's gonna be the biggest, baddest, just craziest celestial balls ever. The Maven's Challenge. That's a cool screenshot. Could easily drop that into your wallpaper, something like that. High quality. Unlock Atlas passive trees. Take control of your Atlas by unlocking regional passive trees which augment the content you encounter and rewards you receive while exploring those regions. Oh my god. The Atlas just got so much more complicated. Not like confusing, but just more complex. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? You get it and you're like, yeah, I want to see more of whatever, but there's just more going on. Okay, we can have a look at this. Areas of 10% additional chance contain a legion. Meh. Legion in areas are 100% more likely to include a general. 100% more likely. Have both generals. 100% more time with splinters. God damn. That's huge. Powerful Beyond Demons require 1 fewer portal to summon in areas. That mean like the bosses? 100% increased merging radius? Jesus Christ, that is some seriously juiced Beyond. 3% chance. But you know, if you get other Beyond on there, geez. Legion counters have 50% increased duration. Take 50% increased damage while in stasis. You basically have pretty much a guarantee that you'll pop everything. Killing resident architects in areas add their upgrade tier to the surviving architects' rooms. So it's just a bonus upgrade. Yeah. Thanks to the resubs PoE. Unicorny for the prime. Incursion monsters in area are at least magic. I mean, bigger XP, but that's fucking rough. Especially with bloodline mods in Incursion. It does get pretty dicey. Killing non-resident architects in areas has a 50% chance to add an additional upgrade tier to the surviving architect's room. What? That's... yeah, my god. You're gonna get tier 3 so easily now. Thanks, Sam Zurich, for the 5 months. Neo Next Nexus for the prime. Areas contain additional strongbox, 10% chance to be openable a second time. Dude, imagine combining like opening the strongbox twice with Beyond fucking spawning 100% less, fewer everything. Give me so much juice on the map these days. So much juice. Breach bosses defeated in areas have a 5% chance to drop a breach stone. I mean, you don't find breach bosses very often. Unless breach stones dropped by a breach boss, 9% chance to be charged, 3% chance to be enriched, 1% chance to be pure. Okay, so fucking 0.05% chance when killing a boss. No, wait, 0.005% chance, right? No, 0.05. Not 0.5. 0.05% chance when killing a boss to get a pure breach stone. Breaches in an area have a 100% chance to contain a boss. Okay, there you go. Breach bosses in areas drop double breach splinters. Breach bosses defeated in areas have 5% chance to drop breach stone. Holy fuck, that's such a good one for breach, man. You'll be able to do so many breach stones after this, if you want to. Derpy old guy, thanks for 13. Sulfite infusion, white maps grant additional 200, 350, 500. Cool. Just fucking delve. I kind of expected a bit of a delve rework, but yeah, maybe not yet. Increased damage for each voltaics. Sulfite vein or chest found in area. Movement speed for each sulfite or chest found in area. 15% movement speed's pretty big. But I don't know. Seems kind of meh. That's it? Yeah, I don't know. Voltaic sulfite veins and chests have 10% chance to contain double sulfite. 20% increased sulfite. Breaches in area have 30% increased area effect. Breaches in area have 30% increased monster density and grant 50% increased experience. Holy fuck, that one's huge. Yeah, breach is gonna be fucking thick. Harvest. Harvest monsters in area grant 200% experience, 50% chance to spawn additional monster. Yeah. Up to 20 rare monsters in areas are possessed and their minions are touched. There's gonna be a lot of extra loot, man. Heart of the Grove. Sacred Grove in areas 100% chance to contain the Heart of the Grove. Like the boss encounter, right? Harvest an area of 10% chance for the unchosen crop to not wilt. Okay. Harvest an area have double bonus to item quantity and rarity. Sacred air grove in areas contain additional harvest. Okay. Yep, that's gonna be, my god, yeah, endgame. Gonna be pretty thick. Discover new endgame rewards. Echoes of the Atlas introduced 3 types of craft or watchstones. These valuable endgame items allow you to upgrade your Atlas and boost what type of rewards you find from maps. Players who are able to earn these powerful rewards will find that they are strictly better than regular watchstones. They can be traded, don't expire with use, and their benefits can stack. Another new endgame reward, Maven's Orb, affects items that have 2 or more influence modifiers. When used, it randomly upgrades one of those and removes the other. That is a pretty cool mechanic. Beefing an influence mod while removing another one. There's still a little bit of gumbo there. The modifier that's being upgraded is already at the highest tier. It'll be upgraded to a new elevated tier. Oh, but it has to be tier 1, right. Life flasks gain 1 charge every 3 seconds. Wow. Large, I guess. I don't know. Maven's Orb. Yeah, I don't know. Us plebs are probably going to use it like maybe once per league. Which, fucking whatever. Legion encounters an area have 23% chance to include a Marikath army. Gross. But, you know, if you want it. 3% increased effect modifiers on non-unique maps. Wow. Items found in areas have 0.2% chance to have the maximum number of sockets. That shit's gonna be nuts. Stuff like that. You're gonna fucking farm 6 sockets and eventually 6 links. It is pretty nutty. Voltaic sulfite veins and chests in area contain 3% more sulfite. 3% more sulfite! Holy shit. 3% more delving. Found items in area of 0.23 chance to have a white socket. That's pretty cool. But ultimately, I think fairly useless. Imprisoned monsters in areas have 10% chance to have additional essence. That's not bad. Get you up to like, you know, 4 or 5 essence monsters, stacks. Monster essences. But whatever. Explore 11 new maps. Challenging bosses. These include unforgiving new locations such as Dry Sea, Forking River, Frozen Cabins, and Grave Trough. Thanks, Debbie. I'll go. Yep, that's a new map. Can confirm, new map. And what? Boss, I guess. Play the Ritual League. Twisted spires of flesh, blood, and sinew now stand scattered across Rayclass landscape. Their origins and purposes unknown. They seemingly have a hunger for blood and death and are willing to richly reward those who can sate it. I will just point out real quick that we got, you know, fucking boat and sea, whatever, league debated once again. If you didn't notice up till now. Ritual is a combat league that pits you against both the arcane powers of the Ritual Altar and an escalating wave of monsters. Enclosed within a ritual circle. Each successive ritual in area is harder and offers better rewards. That is pretty fucking cool. This entire league mechanic, I think. Gonna be fun. I imagine while leveling you'll probably do like 1 ritual, maybe 2, maybe 3, and really suck balls at it, but you know, optimally, you probably don't really want to go super hard. My god, it's right next to the boss on this thing. Gross. But also poggers. Oh, that's such a good mechanic. Look at that. Just buy a fucking tabula while leveling, chat. Can't buy it? Just defer it to the next ritual and then buy it later. Yep, Nightbot thinks it's a great idea. As you slay monsters during rituals, you earn tribute which can be spent on a variety of seductive items and rewards. Among these rewards, you may be offered ritual-based types. Some tribute to reroll. Yep. So what's 1 to 6 per 200? Realistically, getting 30k accuracy isn't too hard. which is how much? 150 times that? Which is 150 to fucking what? 900? That good? That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty very good. 25% less? Well, yeah, I'm saying you could get to like 30k without trying too hard, I think. You can go harder and then get that minus 25 and then it's fine. Maybe. I don't know. I think that's an interesting item for sure. This one's probably pretty fucking good. Crushed lowers physical damage reduction by 15%. Ah, shit, it's not even like removing it. I thought Chris Wilson said that it removes your physical damage reduction. It only removes it by 15%, but gives you that much fortify effect, which I imagine looks like it should be blessable to 25, probably. Which means that helm is insane, and probably best in slot for most people. 30 reduced mana. 29% chance when you pay a skill's mana cost to gain that much mana. No? I can't really think of a particularly practical application here. They are a high energy shield base though, 45, so that's something. Enhance your rituals. In the endgame, you can obtain tradable ritual vessels, which allow you to itemize monsters from a ritual. You can place up to 4 vessels in the map device alongside a map to add their monsters to the ritual. Rituals present in that map, substantially increasing both difficulty and rewards of those rituals. Vessels also substantially increase monster density, which can be rewarding in maxed out maps that have mechanics like Beyond, Delirium, Present. Stores monsters slain for the first time from completed ritual alter for future use. Bloodfield Vessel, 21 other monsters, Guardian of the Phoenix. From Forge of the Phoenix. Okay. Oh, yeah, of course. Just, you know, fucking buy some exalts, buy a headhunter, just fucking get all the good stuff. Come on, man. That's not realistic. Why do they do this to us? You know, none of us are ever seeing a fucking headhunter in that window. There'll be like 3 posts on Reddit about it that people saw them on fucking League Day 1 and cool, but 100,000 people playing, like 4 of them get it. Cool. I mean, the chance is there, right? In addition to numerically blah 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 blah, what do we got? Cultist. But what if? Indeed. You can apply additional curse. 15% effect of your curse. Enemies have malediction. My god, that's a powerful 2-pointer. 2 points, chat. And you get additional curse, 15% effect, and the malediction. Pretty good. Profane Bloom. Another 2 points. And then your hexes can affect hexproof enemies. Cursed enemies you or your minions kill have a 40% chance to explode. Also pretty good. Withering Presence now has 15% more chaos damage. Nearby hindered enemies deal 15% reduced damage over time. Yep. Void Beacon hasn't changed? Nani? Did this gain 1%? Instead of 5 area and 5 damage, it's now 6 area, 6 damage. Insert this is a buff quote. I mean, it was already a nice node. You took it plenty of the times. Regenerate 40 energy shield per second. 2% of energy shield per second for each enemy. Up to 10. Cannot be stunned. Alright, so that doesn't change really, I don't think. And then that. Frigid Wake. 15% more cold. Instead of some cold dot. multi, it's now 15% more cold. That's pretty large. For all you Vortex nerds. Toefish, thanks for the 33. What is this? Node? 4 to minimum endurance charges, 4 to minimum power charges. 1 to maximum power and maximum endurance charges. What the fuck? Discharge incoming? Literally not discharge incoming. You can't consume minimum charges, you silly bitch. You just then looked at and tried to pick the worst possible ascendancy for your discharge. But besides that, so 4 min endurance and 4 min power by default for 2 points. Not bad. Increased area effect wave arcane surge. Meantime, yep. Increased effect of arcane surge 50%. I think that's bigger, right? 5% more damage per summoned totem. It used to be 3. Regenerate 0.5 mana per second. You and your totems regenerate 1% life. 100% increased totem duration. 1 to max number of summoned totems. 100% placement speed. You say they nerfed it? What did they do? Remove 1 totem? And there's no damage percent when you kill stuff anymore? 3% more. Feels it would summon a totem, summon 2 instead. I mean, you have multi-totem that you're always using. So that's fucking irrelevant anyway. Plus 1 max. Losing that sucks, but then you gain that. So yeah, probably not really a fucking anything, right? 100% increased placement speed. 100% increased totem duration. Plus 1 max number. Oh, no, that's... What? No, that's fine. That still exists. I don't see the nerf. Regen mana? Batman cosplay? Yep. No, that's still there. No, it's good. It's fine. Damage per enemy killed? Yeah, no one cares about that. You don't need that. That was just a crutch. That doesn't matter. Sanctuary of Thought. Lost 10 attacks. Yeah, who gives a shit about that as well? You gain more damage. Gain 20%, whatever. I don't think anything changed there. Brands have... I don't give a shit about the brand nodes, do I? And then that. Okay. Slayer. Didn't we already look at Slayer? Nothing changed here, did it? Nothing changed there. Nothing changed there. That got a little better. 8. That got max frenzy. Another 2 melee strike range. And that's it. And then this got flipped. Twitch dead? Drew? What are you on about? You guys not see me? Do I not exist? Seems fine. Wield powerful new items. One of the hallmarks of Path of Exile expansion is its items. In addition to new craft and watchstones, Maze of War, and plenty of ritual-based types, we also introduced the new... Craftable watchstones. We've also introduced the Hydrosphere, 13 new unique Trinity support. Okay. Right, so this is the first example of fire damage, or of ignite not dealing fire damage in the game, I think. Enemies ignited by you take chaos damage instead of fire from ignite. Withered does not expire on enemies ignited by you. That's actually pretty large, isn't it? Because wither stacks can be really fucking short. And 25 to fire and chaos rest, that's pretty useful. Reduce ignite duration, sure. It does look like an item to me. 39% chance when you kill a scorched enemy, burn each surrounding enemy for 4 seconds, dealing 8% of killed enemies' life fire damage per second. A bit of like, sort of Herald of Ash type mechanic. And then scorched enemies of -10. -14, no life on the boots. I don't know. And then this grants added spell physical damage equal to 25% of the skill's mana cost and cause you to take physical damage every time for 4 seconds. When you use a skill, dealing 150% of the skill's mana cost physical damage per second. Can't see. Am I in the way? What? I thought I was down there. Sorry. Then hits overwhelm as well. That's supposed to be a shield as well. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if that's good or not. I'm too retarded. 20 alteration orbs. 2 for 2. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like alts. Fateful meeting. League specific item. Double influenced item. 2 implicit corrupted. And they're touching a headhunter. Obviously. Fucking hell. Do we need more ways to get headhunters, chat? Didn't read the text. What? Am I supposed to? The world is ever changing. Once lush woods, now lost beneath shifting sands. Great cities now drowned beneath turbulent waters. Adapt or perish. Cool. And it says, some people act as beacons, illuminating the path for others. I was lucky to meet one such person. Anton to Xenia. Okay. Hydro fucking sphere. Christ almighty. I'm supposed to figure this out. Level 34. Cast mana, crit, stuff. Creates a sphere of water or move an existing sphere and reset its duration. The sphere continually applies a drench debuff with a short duration to enemies in its area or those it moves through. You can hit the sphere with other skills to inflict cold and lightning elements other than chill. The sphere pulses when created at regular intervals while afflicted by an ailment and after moving, damaging or drenched enemies in a large area. I think it's a Purge League. Fizz, base duration 8 seconds, base secondary 4 seconds, pulses every 0.4 while frozen, shocked, brittle, or sapped. Pulse frequency. Drenched enemies have cold and lightning exposure applying -10. 100% of Fizz converted to cold while sphere has no ailments. So it's always trying to be cold by default. 100% of Fizz converted to lightning while sphere is shocked or sapped. 100% of physical damage converted to cold while sphere is frozen or brittle. Let's see. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Don't know if it's practical, but we'll see. Trinity, 140% mana, level 18. Sports skills that hit enemies, causing them to gain bonuses while you have resonance of all 3 elements. Support skills that hit enemies. You must hit enemies with the skill, with the support. You've got me so far. Causing them to gain bonuses while you have resonance of all 3 elements. And to grant resonance of elements other than the highest one in a hit. What? Cannot support triggered skills, instant skills, orb skills, brand skills, skills which preserve mana, or skills used by total. Okay, so it can't support anything. Hits with supported skills for which the highest damage type is elemental cause you to gain 25 resonance of other elements per second for 2 seconds. Hits with supported skills for which the highest damage type is elemental cause you to gain 25 resonance of other elements per second for 2 seconds. Lose 5 resonance per second of each element you are not gaining. Supported skills deal 3% more elemental damage per 5. Supported skills penetrate. Man, I don't know. That sounds like it's going to be too clumsy. I don't know if that's going to be worth. Choose your harvest. Harvest has returned. Instead of having to plant and manage your own sacred grove, you would discover portals to establish gardens with multiple sets of harvests ready to go. From each pair of options, carefully weigh the encounter difficulty against the crafting outcomes before making a choice. If you can slay the monsters that spawn, you'll be rewarded with life force that can be used greatly to improve your items. So you just have to care less about it and just interact with it when you see it, and then maybe it's still good. Plan the perfect heist. Heist contracts drop from Act 6 onwards. Rogues level up their skills faster, markers drop with higher stack size, and quest contracts are now dropped for you the next smuggler's cache as soon as that quest is available. That sounds fine. I think I'll still do some heist. It's pretty worth it reward-wise, and you know, you just do it every now and again. It's fine. Support Path of Exile. Yes. You probably should. Oh, and whoever was asking about Xbone and stuff. January 20 on Xbone and PlayStation. There you go. 5 days after us. So the league's basically over at that point, and you can then play it. Good luck. So, the other one, right? The other supporter pack. So this one, definitely the play chat. If you wanted to drop some cash, then I think that one is the play. It looks pretty fucking crisp. Unless you're just not into that thing, then who the fuck knows. Yeah, rezone. Maybe that means I can get wings now. Maybe. Madcap. Legion, Malice, Monolith, Mystic. I don't see a Magma yet. I'll relog one more time. Did it work? It still apparently did not. And Twitch is in fact dead. It's not loading for me anymore. I mean, okay. RIP. Press coverage below. Oh, they've got other things here. You're still here? I don't know. Are you? Do you exist? You frog posted, therefore you are, I think. Let's see. What do they got for us?
What drives you, exile? Is it justice? Revenge? Honor? No. It is power. We felt your deeds.
Is this just the trailer? It's just the trailer. Thought I might have something else a bit more exclusive. Since it's a different thing. Website. Reveal trailer. Anything happen? No. I think we pretty much have all the fucking info that is available. I think they have any different stuff, right? The wings are already claimed, dude. I've already claimed them. Mobile works fine, just not PC. Error loading data. Let me try loading mobile, see what happens. Nah, mobile's fucked too. Mine's not working. You know, gotta respect them actors. Like, this feels shit having to wear it for several hours. Right? Just having this on, you can feel it on your face, the glue here, you can just constantly feel it. It's uncomfortable, it's stiff, it's just not enjoyable. And, you know, sometimes they gotta wear some shit for like 16 hours. Just all day, and do plenty of scenes and takes and whatever. Like your Jennifer Lawrence in your fucking Mystique thing. That would have been the worst. As an example, because I'm pretty sure she said it was the worst, and you've got to believe her. Yeah, Twitch is dying for some reason. You know, that happens. It's happened several times over the past few weeks. I mean, I've pretty much done the best I can at this point, and it's probably just time to play some more PoE. Because I'm the only man playing the league anymore. and I wanted my character to get up and running.
You're listening to Allie Feeler's Wonder of the Week.
And that might mean to get rid of all of this and go take a shower. To take, you know, 15-minute break or something. Because sitting here like this isn't really relevant anymore. And it's not comfortable for me. And if I want to keep streaming and playing, then yeah. My Twitch loaded again. That's something. Yeah, stuff wash off. It should. I'll go shampoo my hair and see what happens. Yeah, I think I'll just go take a break. So you won't have much to do. Sorry, you won't have much to do here for the next like fucking 10-15 minutes. Keep the tab open if you don't mind, so I don't drop down to 0 viewers. That'd be lovely. But otherwise, you can go check out some of the other dudes. I'll come back hopefully fresh and clean, and then we'll keep leveling this character and talking stuff. But I have some really big swords to get to. These guys. 100 Fizz converted to random element. I'm playing Spectral Throw and also some Blade Flurry. So it should be pretty good. Back in 10-15, however long it takes me to get rid of all of this. Thanks for hanging out so far.
Scope.